Hi Curslings, today we're doing a reaction to Stephanie Thompson's live stream from yesterday, which the Pink Tea was gracious enough to upload to her channel. Thank you, Pink Tea. Now, I had recorded a blind reaction to this live stream last night, but I made a mistake. I had the wrong sound channel selected when I recorded my PC screen, which meant that nothing that Stephanie Thompson said in this live stream was picked up by my recording, just me, which is not helpful to you. And because the reaction was quite long, it was going to be a massive undertaking to try to get that audio in for you. So we're redoing it. So I have seen this live stream, and my original reaction, I was very angry. I was very upset with what she said, how she handled all of this. Yeah, so we're gonna watch it again. I've had a chance to sleep on it. I've had a chance to hear everything. I have opinions. Of course I have opinions, but yeah, this is nasty. This was a disgusting live stream. So let's get into it.
I keep cussing and I don't want to do that. I feel like I've been silenced before I could even speak. And
oh, okay, listen. No one has silenced Stephanie Thompson. If she had been silenced, she wouldn't be on live right now.
It is defeating. And I know that that benefits other people, because if I really was able to...
Also, who silenced her? Who silenced her? She has been running her mouth the entire time. The entire time. She hasn't shut up. Who's silencing her? If this is Stephanie silenced, okay.
Just keep speaking on everything I know.
Shifty eyes.
Y'all have donated so much money.
Oh, we're real butthurt. Okay, so she's really upset about the fact that Desiraye has managed to raise over 2 GoFundMes $20,000 for legal fees. It busts her butt. She just did a TikTok this past week about her own GoFundMe, which I don't think surpassed $500, and then claiming it was hooked. It wasn't hacked. It burns her ass that Desiraye got support and she has not. So of course she's bringing it up now. This is a narcissistic wound in real time.
The individual that you support. Enough money that Deshaun should have his own bed. He shouldn't have.
32 seconds into this. We don't know whether what she's saying is true or not. What we do know is that Stephanie Thompson is a pathological liar. She's a documented liar. We have caught her in many lies. She's not a reliable source of information at all. Desiraye doesn't show us much of anything. So it's Stephanie's word against someone who is, for the most part, doing a decent job of staying quiet. Desiraye still comes out, she still talks on stuff, of course, but she's not out here filming her whole life for the whole world to pick apart. So how do we know? Also, he's currently living in a 1-bedroom motel room. So what are we talking about here?
Have a shared bed. He should have his own clothes there. He should have...
Then there's a whole clothing thing. Stephanie just made a post very recently talking about how they rotate when they buy clothing for the children, and they just prioritize the girls, I believe. So, I don't know. You know what? We're going to go to her Facebook page. Those sounds are the sounds of Mr. Kirsty bringing in firewood. We have a wood stove for the cozy vibes. And also it helps offset some of our heating bill. Oh yeah, here we're posting anti-vax nonsense. Oh, here we go. My phone has been bugging out a lot lately, so my engagement level in posting has gone down a bit. Sure, Jan. I hope everyone is doing well. Also, I forgot to mention this on TikTok, but the babies both got clothes last month. DS is next. We rotate who we are buying for so everyone gets a chance. But we also follow the lead of whose needs pop up first. Sometimes the boys' growth spurts are closer together and they have more needs, and generally And generally, when we buy new socks or underwear, it's for everyone at the same time. We make it work. And we're blessed to be doing better than last year than this time. I have not been grateful enough for our growth. Much love, resilient fam. Bye-bye now. Okay.
Have his own devices to game on that he doesn't have.
Does he have his own devices at your place? Is Drew sharing his PS5? What are you talking about?
To wait for his brother who...
The kids have to share a gaming console? Oh, the humanity!
It gets all of the electronic time. Deshaun is over there feeling as though he's outcasted the minute he gets there.
According to you, according to Stephanie Thompson, there have been a handful of live streams where Desiraye was present with Arlita and Monty's mama, where DS could be heard in the background having a blast, where he has spoken off camera and said hello, and he sounded like he was having a great time. But here's Stephanie, the narcissist, saying he's the outcast. He doesn't get to use any of the electronics. He doesn't have his own bed. He doesn't have anything. He also doesn't have a home living with you, Stephanie. And also, you're a liar. Probably everything you're saying right now is bullshit.
And I speak on these things because I care for him.
You care about him so much you're airing it on the internet publicly when you've been told not to do that, and this kind of thing harms your claim, well, Drew's claim to him. Yeah, you care. No. This is narcissism. This is full-on narcissistic wound or rage.
I care for him. I don't care if somebody tells me that I'm in the wrong.
I don't care. She cares.
You're not supposed to be speaking on this. Nobody's speaking about what he's actually saying. Nobody.
It's not for the internet to fucking know, you stupid. It doesn't need to be on the internet. That is up to you and Drew to voice that, if it is happening, to the judge. Just like it is up to Desiraye to hear what he's saying and bring it up to her lawyer and the judge. This is not live stream content. This is not content, period. And yet here you are, once more, bringing it to the internet with your fake fucking tears, complaining because, oh, no one will let me hear my side. I'm being silenced. Nobody's listening to what he's saying except for me, the white savior. Shut up.
Nobody is actually letting him use a voice, and
He's not old enough to have a voice. He is not old enough to have a say in where he goes in a custody situation, in a visitation situation. He is 9 years old. The judge has said as much. He is not old enough for this. It is up to the parents to work together. Also, why do we care so much about what he wants right now, but we don't care about what the other kids want when it comes to other things? Why is this the thing where we want to listen to the kids, but not in other things? We know why. It's control. More control.
I care for him. I told him that to his face. I don't care.
I've told it to his face. I don't care. I care for him. Why are you talking to him about his custody situation? Why are you talking to him about this at all? This is not an appropriate conversation to be having with him, especially when you're not his biological fucking mother.
If it ended up being that I was in trouble with the fucking law because I spoke for his voice that nobody...
Why are you telling him this? Why are you saying this? Why are you talking to a 9-year-old boy and saying, I don't care if I get in trouble with the law for speaking up for you? It's not your job. This is a cut and dry situation. 2 parents and a child in the middle. One parent isn't cooperating. The other parent is trying to get their rights and have their rights respected. It's not difficult. And if you were truly on the child's side, you would be helping to facilitate that. Full stop.
Listening to. I will do that for him because I love the fuck out of that kid.
You love him so much that you keep airing this shit on the internet.
So much so that if he told me to my face, like...
No, the fake tears, too. Just, ugh.
I don't care about you. I'll never love you like a mom anymore. And I want you out of my life. Bro, like, I would do that. But that's...
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. She can't even handle the idea of him spending time with his actual mother.
Not the connection you guys hear. The connection he has...
Someone said, shut your bitch ass up. Yep.
...has with me. original audio is not.
This isn't about you, Stephanie. This isn't about your relationship with him. This has nothing to do with you. I don't know how many times the internet can fucking say this to you. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your connection. This is about him reconnecting with his actual mother and having that relationship, which is also very important for him, including relationship with his other siblings. It has nothing to do with you, and the fact that you keep making it about yourself is sickening. It's sickening.
Scripted. He's mommy this, mommy that.
He's mommy this, mommy that, because you entered his life when he was 6 years old. 6 years old, and he got cut off from his actual mother. My kid is a kindergartner. He's around the same age DS was when Stephanie entered the picture. I cannot imagine how horrible it would be for my son if he suddenly didn't have me around. It stressed him out the handful of times I had to spend in the hospital and I didn't come home until the following morning. It stressed him out so much. And here she is sitting here. He calls me mommy, he calls me mommy because he's in survival mode. He had to learn to survive. When did these two idiots stop and think about how this was affecting him? They say that he has a voice, but if that was true, if they were considering his needs, they would have worked harder to keep Desiraye in the picture. They would have facilitated it, and they wouldn't be fighting so fucking hard now to prevent it. If she truly cared, we wouldn't be getting performative tears like this. We wouldn't be getting all the rants and all the nasty things. She made a racist post just the other day. Let me pull it up. Fucking so rude, too. On Threads, she said, this is... God, it's not even... So she shares some DMs she got, a screen recording, and she says, this is the kind of messages I receive from women daily, and I'm expected to not see how much hate I receive is purely because of my race. I'm not playing victim. Yes, you are. I'm trying to make a point, which is that apparently reverse racism is a thing. Everyone seems to think racism goes one way, but it doesn't work like that. Yes, it does. The amount of people that jump to support Des just because they share the same race is cringe. Well, I'm as white as you are, Stephanie. I am whiter than you are, and I support Desiraye over you. Is that racism? Or is it just the fact that you're a shitty parent who does shitty shit like this? And then she says, because if it really came down to who's been there for DS, my position in his life wouldn't be questioned so much. Disagree. Hard disagree. And the fact that you keep making comments like this, you keep making posts like this, you keep villainizing Desiraye, you keep tearing her down, and then you sit here and talk about how, you know, like if he wants a relationship with his mother, I will support it, we'll get to it, is performative bullshit. You don't care. You're not interested in facilitating that relationship, and you have been actively working against it the entire fucking time, and everyone can see it, and that's why people don't like you, among a million other things.
He talks to me more than any of my kids. He wants to cook with me.
Have you ever heard of something called fawning? Children that are in abusive or neglective environments, they will try to please their caregivers, so they won't be on the receiving end of their caregivers' unpredictable moods. But she doesn't think about that.
He wants to sit there and read with me. We have a connection that will never be taken from us.
Well, then why? No one's taking it from you. I'm angry all over again. All over again.
But I would never stand in the way of a connection for him to build with his biological...
Bullshit. You're doing it right now. She's doing it. She is standing in the way. And this is performative. This is performative tears because she knows that her meddling, her and Drew's inability and unwillingness to work with Desiraye is going to bite them hard in the ass. I sincerely think something happened this week. Something has happened. Enough stuff has happened that these two idiots are scared. They're worried.
Mother ever. I would never do that.
Then what are you doing? Why are you doing it then? If you would never do it, why are you doing it? Make it make sense, Stephanie.
And I didn't want to get this emotional, but it's just... It just feels like I was never given a voice.
You have a voice. You're using it right now, idiot. Your voice just doesn't matter. You are a non-entity in this situation, and the sooner you come to terms with that, the better this will be. Your ego is the problem here. You can't set yourself aside. You can't set aside your feelings and do what's best for the child. You insist that, oh, he doesn't want to be there. Like, I'm the only one listening to his needs. Bullshit. You're listening to your own needs, and you're weaponizing a bunch of bullshit to harm his mother and her reputation and her claim as much as possible. You've been doing it well before she came into the picture. When I say come into the picture, I mean she went public.
I don't understand why people don't question if it was supposedly that I was keeping someone alienated and out of the picture for years.
Someone just said you're crying for you. Yeah.
Why was there not an effort to go to the court until October of last year? Why?
There was an effort. There were efforts. Let's go back to Facebook. Someone actually shared it in her comments. 748 comments. Goodness. Where is it? Right here. 2022. Desiraye Queer versus Andrew Jenkins. Petition for custody support visitation. This was actually her emergency petition, and the judge rejected it because they didn't feel that the child was in immediate danger. That was a threshold that needed to be met, and unfortunately, the possibility of child abuse does not qualify as immediate danger. I know that's going to be frustrating to people hearing that. That's just how it is in Oregon, but she had tried. She has made efforts. Keep in mind, Drew said in court himself, and I have the audio recordings from his first custody hearing. I just haven't gotten around to transcribing everything into a screen recording for myself for you to see. But he admits in court that he wasn't answering the phone, he wasn't answering the door, and that he might have changed his number and not told Desiraye. Drew also didn't have a car in 2022. Desiraye was the one with the car. That's part of the reason why she allowed DS to stay with Drew. She was going through family stuff. She was the one who was driving him back and forth to Drew's house, apartment, and eventually got to a point where it was just more convenient for both of them if DS was with Drew while she dealt with other stuff. And then Stephanie entered the picture and she lost contact and she didn't even know if they were still living there. I think that is totally fair. Drew has a history of just moving in with people and falling out of contact. He's fallen out of contact with Arlita, and he even admits in his live stream from earlier this week that there was a point where he did fall out of contact with Desiraye in the past. And if he's not answering the phone, if he's not answering the door, what is she supposed to do? Yes, an argument could be made that she could have tried harder. That's been a constant criticism people have. But to say that she wasn't trying when there is proof that she was trying is unfair. Especially when we know Stephanie has been working against Desiraye and has been actively besmirching her even before she went viral.
Why, if I was forcing these efforts for you to not be in the picture, was there not more of an effort until I went viral?
Oh, God, her and going viral, she really seems to think like this is some important thing. It's not. People go viral all the time. My video on their divorce went viral. It was number 27 in the USA. And yes, Curslings, I will at some point sit down, go through it, re-edit it, make sure that it is checking all the boxes, crossing all its T's, dotting all its I's, etc. And I'll re-upload it. So many of you have been asking about it on TikTok, on Facebook, in my DMs, in my comments. I know, but I went viral. Viral for me, anyway. Do you see me sitting here blaming everything on like people's interest in me? It's because I went viral. It's because of X, Y, Z. No, it's just, it happens. You go viral and then you move on. But for Stephanie, she really truly seems to believe that viral is the be-all end-all of existence, and once you go viral, you're famous, and everyone wants a piece of your pie. Innuendo unintended. When in reality, Stephanie going viral just created more visibility of her situation. It confirmed where they were. It confirmed what was going on, and it made it easier for Desiraye and Arlita to do what they needed to do. But in Stephanie's narcissistic mind, no, it's because I went viral, and you guys just wanted to ride my coattails. Okay.
Get that. Y'all want to make that shit make sense to me? Go ahead. And also, bro, judge me about my fucking nose, but I be noticing that's my nervous tick. Like,
oh, it's a nervous tick, eh? you're sniffing. Is it a nervous tick for Drew as well? Because he sniffs a whole hell of a lot as well.
Stuff is too emotional, when stuff is overwhelming, like, I can't help it. I'll be like itching my nose like crazy. And I don't care if you think that's something other than what it is.
It's weird that you had to bring it up. It's weird that you had to address it. That's weird. It's strange. Isn't it? It's strange to make an excuse for it. It's almost like you're trying to preemptively compensate for what people will accurately guess about the reason why you're sniffing. Because again, Drew sniffs a whole hell of a lot too. We'll get to it.
Your comments literally are irrelevant. Unless you're being nice and supportive and understanding that I'm speaking from a point of just wanting this to be done, yo.
She really can't stand the fact that people have criticism for her. And the fact that she's telling her audience how they're allowed to interact with her and how they are supposed to feel about her is very telling. It bothers her that people don't like her. Also, this commenter in Pink T's live chat replay only here 101 says, why are they both crying suddenly? Good question. Narcissists only cry for themselves. Makes me think they're both in trouble for something. I agree. I fully agree. Both Stephanie and Drew this week have come on the internet and cried victim about the custody situation. Both of them. Drew, I think, on Monday, and now Stephanie on Thursday. Something has happened for them to be coming out here crying the way they are, victimizing themselves the way they are, which is also a weird fucking reaction, because if it is the way they have been claiming, the way Stephanie's been saying, I'm just waiting for the truth to come out and you'll all see, etc., 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 if that is the case, why this reaction? Why so worried?
I want it to be done. It's affected so much of our fucking life. Like, when they say, like,
well, it wouldn't have affected so much if you didn't keep airing it all on the internet and making it messier. Just a thought.
Custody case takes over your life. It really do. And I think it's wild because, like,
it really does. Okay.
Like, other than me stating the fact that, like, Deshawn has some struggles that are could be associated with FAS.
And here she is admitting that DS doesn't have FASD, which is fetal alcohol syndrome disorder, by the way. In September 2024, the video is now no longer public. I have a copy of it. Stephanie implied that DS has fetal alcohol syndrome disorder and that he got it because his mother drank while pregnant. But she said that this is Desiraye's fault. She drank while pregnant. She made a whole giant Facebook post about it as well, back in, I think, like January. Like, just really gross behavior. And here she is saying, this is what I think. I think he has it. You're not a doctor, Stephanie Lynn Thompson. You do not have the ability to diagnose people. Desiraye has come out multiple times and said there is no proof of that. He was never diagnosed with it. And here you are confirming it, that he doesn't officially have this diagnosis. You just think he has it. And also, this is giving Doherty dozen. It is super disgusting to come on the internet and talk about your child's possible, like, mental health disorders or disabilities in this manner, especially when we don't know for sure if he has it. And here you are saying he has all the traits and signs of fetal alcohol syndrome disorder. Why are we putting this in a live stream? Why are we talking about this publicly? That is disgusting. He deserves some fucking privacy.
And, like, I stand on that because you all want to be like, well, you insinuated this. And, like, I stand on my own fucking words. Okay?
Yeah, so here, again, she's admitting to it. She insinuated it. She's the one who said it. She's saying she stands on it, which I really don't think she should do. It's not her place, but okay.
If I said something myself, you're not going to come back at me and make me feel like...
It's because you said it instead of a fucking doctor. You also said that DS has reactive attachment disorder, which, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if the toddler actually has that because he's been neglected so much. You said your mother has borderline personality disorder, and she's publicly said that's not true. I do not have that diagnosis. You were also saying that the toddler has autism, but you have made no effort to get him assessed or get any early intervention. You have also decided that Drew has autism. He hasn't been formally diagnosed either.
I know what I said, okay?
Yeah, you said it, and you're admitting that you said it, not a doctor.
And I still stand on that because I know the struggles he deals with. I know when I first met the child, he could barely hold a fork and spoon correct. He couldn't draw. He couldn't walk without one of his legs was, I don't remember what it's called, where is it called a stent, where you walk with a little bit of a limp, and his speech was, he did mention that I've helped him with his speech tremendously, because
So now she's bringing up all these problems, developmental delays that DS had when she entered his life, which again, keep in mind, he was 6 years old and he was in school. So my question is, why are we using this against Desiraye? Because Drew is just as responsible for these supposed delays that this child supposedly had. Drew's at fault as well. The child was living with him. Why didn't the school catch it? Why wasn't the school working with Drew and Desiraye to address it? If this is true, and I don't think it is, why aren't we also blaming Drew?
I sat there and we just mentioned that I've helped him with his speech tremendously, because I sat there and we just talked.
Oh, here's the white savior again. Stephanie helped him with his speech. It was Stephanie. Stephanie single-handedly helped DS overcome his delays and his struggles. Where was Desiraye through all of this, is the subtext. To which I just want to say, where the fuck was Drew through all of this? If this is true, again, I don't think it is. Why aren't we also blaming Drew?
Me and Deshawn talk all the time. And I
Someone
get it.
says a stent is literally a medical device. Yes, it is. It's, I don't know if it's for the legs or for walking, but I know they use them with the heart. If you have heart issues.
I get that it's been 8-9 long months of, or more, of the other party just spreading lies and saying...
What lies? What lies, Stephanie? She won't say. She won't really go into any detail. But what we do know is that Stephanie's been spreading lies for over a year. Narcissists love to use Darvo. They love to flip the script and blame the other party, the victim, for the things they're doing. This is the narcissistic playbook, just point for point.
Whatever, about whatever. It's...
See, she can't even say it. It's just about whatever, for whatever. No, there's been no lies. There's been no lies.
I'm telling you guys.
You're telling us, but you're not reliable, so why should we listen, you know?
It's fine. Support whoever the fuck
It's
you want.
fine, you guys. Do whatever you want. It's not fine. She cares. It bothers her. She hates that people are supporting Desiraye and not her. And she's went so far as to say that it's a race problem. It's a racism problem, which gross.
Want to support. Believe whatever you want to believe.
Well, if we're allowed to believe whatever we want to believe, why are you talking to us about it?
But if that really was what went down, that we completely didn't get to have him in our life anymore, and he's over there, we've lost the kid, bro. Lost it.
I'm just massaging my head right now. They both seem to be very concerned that they're going to lose custody of DS completely, and that they're never going to see him again. And they're convinced that Des isn't going to work with them. I don't believe for a minute that Desiraye is going to deny Drew Jenkins visitation with his child. She's going to follow the court order. She's going to work with him. Keep in mind that Drew refused to go into mediation with her. He refused a settlement offer that he was sent this past week. He has been actively working against the court order, actively ignoring it and disregarding it. They have not been complying. They have not been cooperating. And throughout all of this, since May, Stephanie has come out and cried her fake tears and insisted that we want to work with her. I want to be friends. If it's for the betterment of the kids, while they've been actively making it as extremely difficult for Desiraye as they can. Their actions do not match their words. Sometimes they do, but this performative bullshit is just that. It's performance. And I think that they are starting to realize that their behavior has severely harmed their claim in court. And they're scared. They're worried. Because if they lose control of DS, they lose control of everything else. Stephanie loses control of Drew. Drew's probably going to bounce. Stephanie loses control of the other kids, especially if DS starts talking more and more and gets more comfortable and safe to talk about what it was like in the motel room and in the one-bedroom apartment without fear of repercussion. And then that's going to lead to even more coming out, either with CPS or publicly, depending on how stupidly this one handles it, because you know she's going to come out here and victimize herself through the whole process.
It's good because there's no parental knowledge. Like, you weren't in your children's lives until a year and a half ago. You don't know how to be a parent, and I'm not trying.
That's fucked up, by the way. She is sitting here, a white woman, and saying that Desiraye, a black woman, doesn't know how to be a parent. Desiraye has other children who live with her. She's been a mother this whole time. She has several children. Several. To sit here and say you don't know how to be a mother, you don't have any kids, is just objectively problematic. Super problematic. You do not get to sit there and say you don't know how to be a mother to a black woman whose child you have been withholding from. You don't get to sit here and criticize her for not being around when you haven't helped facilitate her being in the picture. Ooh, getting mad.
I'm not trying to be vindictive. I'm trying to say...
Yes, you are. This is vindictive.
It could have gone so much different if this was about just being there for the kid, knowing him, knowing his desires, what he wants in his life. It would have gone down different. It would have...
Explain how it would have went different, Stephanie. She won't, by the way, but explain it, because she has tried. You won't answer the door. You wouldn't answer the phone. She had to get a court order to see her fucking child. And you, the day of court in May, you did a video saying that you hope it goes your way and that she won't get access. You never wanted her in the picture. You were actively bashing her. You were actively villainizing her. The court sides with her, gives her access. You guys work against her. How could it go down differently if you're not cooperating to help that happen? She can't do it herself. It takes two people to do this. It takes Drew and Desiraye working together.
Never been about this fight to...
It's only been about a fight because you have made it that way. You have done this. This is the consequences of your fucking actions. You know what? We're going to scroll to January. Actually, I'm going to see if I can search for it. That might be easier. January 16th. Since this continues to be a comment that pops up, I figured I'd address it. It's not that it's going to make any difference because these people in the comments have already decided what they want to think about me and Drew, regardless of what we put forward. I can never grasp deciding I know something about somebody when I literally don't even know that person, but these internet trolls assume they know everybody. By the way, she admits in her own content she knows nothing about Desiraye. Just keep that in mind. So with that being said, she continues, Drew and I do not use anything. Any video I mentioned smoking in was posted quite some time ago. By the way, she'll admit she started smoking again while breastfeeding, like 2-3 months later. I haven't since said anything about myself or Drew still smoking. I haven't drank in years. I've never been a drinker. However, my stepson's baby mama is a heavy drinker to this day and drank while she was pregnant with my son. I never once said I drank while pregnant. See, the way I see all these internet trolls is the way I imagine people during the Salem witch trial, because regardless of what a woman said, people decided for themselves this person is a witch and needs to be burned. And honestly, people assuming they know something about me and Drew when they don't even know us personally, that's no better than that type of situation. We don't address all the bullshit videos that are posted about us, all the conspiracies, because none of it is factual or true about the people Drew and I are, except she does constantly address it. We will continue to do what we've done for years, to work on our family, our lives, and follow God's plan. No amount of hate or stupid people have stopped either of us before, so why would it now? And at what point do you people go find a new account to stalk and hate on? What a miserable soul you carry around with pride. She's talking about herself right there. So she is responding to this comment from someone who says, another baby born with fetal alcohol syndrome, that makes 4, which is not a good comment. By the way, this is gross. Before anyone starts snarling at me, Stephanie admitted she smoked marijuana throughout all her pregnancies. Drew does drugs as well. Now, this is true. She did admit to these things, but we don't know if her current baby was born with FASD, and it's gross to suggest that. regardless. But she has come out and said right here and in other posts that Desiraye drank through her pregnancy and is an alcoholic and caused FASD of DS. It's stuff like this. But she wants to sit there and cry victim. Ugh. Let's go back a little bit.
His desires, what he wants in his life, it would have gone down different. It would have never been about this fight to I am looking like I've got my life together. And I'm so very curious, if nobody had done all that supportive, helping with housing, helping with this, helping with that, what could you do on your own? I don't get it.
Deep breath. No one got Desiraye housing. Desiraye had housing. Her GoFundMe was for lawyer fees, which it has been used for. Nobody handed her a home. Nobody has handed her anything. So I'm curious and also confused how Stephanie seems to think that that's the case. That money was for a lawyer, which it's been used for. Custody lawyers are expensive as hell. Also, Stephanie has some gall sitting here saying this because she's currently homeless and they are clearly expecting someone to drop a 5-bedroom house in their lap. In my opinion, she's envious. I mean, we can all see it. You can see this from the moon. She is envious of the amount of support Desiraye has received because she feels like that should be the support, because she feels like that's the support she should be getting. She deserves this support. She's the one who went viral after all, and that's the whole reason she went viral, or she tried to go viral. This is why she's been striving for this. It's because she thinks that social media is easy. She'll say that later on. And because she's entitled. She's entitled to the accolades. She feels entitled to the revenue, which she views as an easy source of income. She feels like people owe her. Like this is the golden ticket. And it busts her ass that it hasn't been that for her. If anything, her situation has gotten worse.
Because me and Drew are doing this shit on our own. And yes, we're still homeless, but nobody's setting us up with anything. We have resources being sent to us and we appreciate the help, but we're...
What did I just say? She is so entitled. She truly thought going viral was going to change their lives and they were going to be given everything they wanted on a silver fucking platter. And it didn't go that way. As the comments here say, Bad Ash says, never takes accountability. She's so effing jealous of Des. The Pink Tea also says she can't take that Des raised the funds she needed to get her son the correct way. Exactly. Full stop. She can't stand that people are supporting Desiraye over her.
We're still doing all of that ourselves.
Yeah, like everyone else. Welcome to the vast majority of North Americans. We have to do this ourselves too. What most of us don't do, though, is get on the internet and cry about it.
Like I said, I'm not engaging with the comments because y'all are just going off on Desiraye support.
This person says, everyone got a job but y'all. Yep.
Desiraye support Desiraye. Go ahead.
Everything except getting a job like the rest of us. Yep.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Support Desiraye. I'm going to complain about it a whole bunch, but do it. Do whatever you want. It's fine. I don't care. She cares.
I don't care. What I think is nutty is that, like I said, this is supposed to be about Deshawn. Deshawn would have loved...
There was a comment. Let me go back.
Like I said, this is supposed to be about...
Someone says, oh my God, Stephanie, stop looking for a handout. Yeah, this is what this is. This is dry begging.
Deshawn. Deshawn would have loved for it just to be that her and I started a friendship.
Oh man. This is the second time watching it and that still really, really pisses me off. She's using DS as a puppet, as a pawn. He would have loved it if me and Desiraye could be friends. Why does he need to know about it? Why does he even need to know that there's tension between the two of you? You both should be faking it. You should be lying to that kid's face. He shouldn't know that there's tension. He should already think you're friends, even if you're not. And for you to come out here on the internet and say this and say that he would love for this is manipulation. It's gross. This is gross behavior.
A relationship that was surrounded around what is best to support Deshawn, how we can both be there. And when I first found out that Drew had...
Okay. Again, How can you work together for what is best for the kid if you and Drew are actively working against the court order? Make it make sense.
Had two sons. I told him, I actually remember this conversation because I said, well, how involved are the baby mamas? And he said, we don't even talk. We don't even have communication between either of them.
This is a half lie. Drew stopped communicating with Arlita years ago. She has shown all the screenshots. They're on her TikTok page. I have copies of them. I've used them in a video. She shows proof that Drew stopped responding. He abandoned them. As for Desiraye, she says that she was there a week before Stephanie moved in. She came over one time and she saw Stephanie's girls in the apartment. Stephanie knew about Desiraye. She knew about her. She knew Desiraye was actively involved. So for her to sit here and claim that Drew says that Desiraye wasn't talking to him is bullshit. Especially when Desiraye has publicly said that they were still romantically involved right up until Stephanie moved in. He was still sleeping with Desiraye, according to Desiraye. And then Stephanie moved herself in suddenly. According to Stephanie, she says this herself. She moved in, or no, her mom said that. She just suddenly moves in, and I guarantee you it was to make sure that Drew would only focus on her. Because she's a control freak. She's a narcissist. She's got to control everything. This is a lie. Flat lie. Also, again, in 2022, like 6 months later, Desiraye files an emergency petition for custody. She was notified by the school about DS's black eye. Stephanie does a whole video back in October or September, I think it was September, talking about how she was frustrated that the school contacts Desiraye over her. Miss me with the fucking lies. We're sick of it.
And I was like, okay, well, there's still potential that one day that's going to be a possibility. So
if you recognized in the moment, you're claiming you recognized in the moment that you knew it was possible that Arlita was going to pop back up, that Desiree is going to want to see her child, why didn't you help facilitate it?
Even started dating him, it was something I considered, that I would potentially have to have a relationship with these women.
And yet you made no fucking effort. Arlita also showed the messages she sent to Stephanie in September when she found Stephanie through Drew's Facebook. Or not September, August. She shared the screenshot. She messaged Stephanie about his upcoming child support. Oops, that's my lip gloss. She messaged Stephanie about Drew's upcoming court date for unpaid child support. They reached out. They were trying to get in contact. Stephanie and Drew ignored them. So for her to sit here, then she hadn't gone viral yet, by the way. Stephanie hadn't went viral on TikTok when Arlita first reached out to her. So what's the excuse there?
I saw it going down way the heck different. I would never belittle someone else's children.
Yeah, you were hoping it was going to go differently in that they weren't going to find where you were. You were going to keep evading them. That's what you were hoping. You were hoping that you could go viral and lead your little delusional, messed up, neglectful life, and nobody was going to say nothing. That's what you were hoping for.
Children. I would never belittle someone else for their...
Talking about DS and his supposed mental health disorders and delays and stuff is belittling him, especially if they're not founded in fact and they haven't been officially diagnosed. If the school hasn't urged you to do something about it, to go see a doctor, etc. If you are just assigning things to him and then coming on the internet and telling everyone about it, sharing his business that's probably not even true, that's going to leave an internet footprint, that's going to follow him until adulthood, that's belittling him. That's harming him. You're doing the same fucking thing. And also, to the people who are spreading the rumor about Stephanie's daughters and questioning their parentage, it's disgusting. Stop it. There is no proof to back it up. All you're doing is harming those children. Fucking stop it.
Looks and the stuff that they've decided to come after me for, I would not be like that. I'm stating facts about things.
In a little while, she's going to start judging people in the parking lot, FYI. Someone in Pink T's comments calls her a pick-me. Yep.
Things that, if I was spending my money on I don't know.
Oh, I bet she was going to say fake eyelashes and acrylic nails again. Because she's done that before. She really likes judging other women. Really likes doing that.
You could say that you spend money on weed, you know. Okay.
But you do. Gardening's not a necessity.
So I guess, like I said, see, I caught myself there. Like, I'm about to say something.
Oh, do you want a gold star and a cookie because you caught yourself from saying something judgmental and now you need to tell us? See, look, I caught myself. I'm not horrible. Shut up.
I'm just in the wrong, as in the wrong. Why would I say it? So I'm going to catch myself. But a lot of people will just say the vindictive thing because...
You say the vindictive thing all the time.
Oh, it's going to make me look better momentarily. But does it?
Well, at least you can admit that that's why you're doing it.
Because if you can dig it up and see your own faults.
Girl. You're homeless. You're male-centered. You've prioritized your comfort and Drew's comfort over the well-being of your children. Worry about yourself. Some of us are fine. We're doing just fine.
You got to be willing to state your own fucking faults, too. And
But you can't. You haven't.
I'm fully aware of my faults. I got mental illnesses. I've made decisions that I could have probably prevented us from getting in this motel, and that's the same for Drew as well.
Interesting. She is saying here that she could have prevented them from being homeless. Well, at least she's admitting it, finally. But also, this should have never happened.
We've both talked about this. We've talked about our faults, and we've stated them to you guys.
I don't know if it's a fault if you allow yourself to become homeless by not paying your rent, because that's how they became homeless. Don't believe the bullshit that people like to push, that it was the haters calling the management company that got them evicted. That's not what happened. They didn't pay their rent. They were 2 months behind. They were given a deadline. They were given 2 weeks to come up with the money. They didn't. They made no effort to work with the management company. And then the management company took them to court and said, we want you out. You're also violating your lease. And then Drew tried to argue with the judge and play but I have so many kids, 2 weeks isn't enough time. So the judge gave them 3 weeks to get the F out or they were going to get evicted. That's what actually happened. They also didn't start looking for housing until after they went to court because Drew probably convinced Stephanie that he could get out of it. Because according to my source who was in the courtroom, he lied and tried to say that Stephanie wasn't living there. This person here says, I like how she rationalizes her lies out loud with a lie. Yeah. Yep.
And as far as like, you guys still do not see my social media thing as a job when I probably make more than most of you, I could give a frick that you want.
Oh boy. Okay. That's a mask slip right there. That was a mask slip. I make more money than most of you. You don't have a right to talk about me. You can't say shit to me. I make more than you. Well, Stephanie, if you make anywhere near what I make in a month between my W-2 and my YouTube revenue, there is no excuse for you to still be in that fucking motel room. There is no excuse for you to still have debt. There is no excuse for any of this shit, this cosplaying poverty. There's no reason for your children to still be in rags. There's no reason for any of this. If you make more money than I do, there's no fucking excuse. Also, that is not the flex you think it is. Flexing your income on others is poor people behavior. Also, what is happening to all that money? If you are making a lot of money, like you just implied, where's it going? People have been saying this the entire time, that you are probably making between $5,000 to $15,000 a month. Where's that money going? Also, why are you still homeless?
Keep denying that that's a real thing. When I first got into social media, I was in that W-2. I was working 16 hours a day every day because I wanted to make ends meet. And I was watching social media all the time. And I was like, bro, these people make a dancing video and then they hop back on their couch and that's the end of their day. And I'm like, that... seems easy. That seems nice. Seems like they're a lot happier in their life. Let's give it a...
Are you happier in your life, Stephanie? Because I don't think you are. Also, social media isn't easy. It is easy in one sense, and it is difficult in another. It is essentially a product. Content creation is creating a product and selling it to your audience. And the more demand that you have for that product, the more you have to adapt and grow and have intentionality. What Stephanie does is the opposite of that. It's lazy content. She just vomits into her camera and posts it. She does minimal editing. Her editing is lazy. There's no quality in her content. And even before she went viral, she spent a whole lot of time bitching and moaning about other people's success on social media and wondering why she's not getting her moment, her big break. You have to work. If this is a job like you're insisting, then you got to treat it like a job. What Stephanie does is not content creation. This is laziness and entitlement, in my opinion. And the only reason she's relevant is because what she is subjecting her children to is so problematic.
To try, and I just kept trying. I kept posting, and I was stuck in that 200 view jail forever. And I just kept posting because I fully believe that this is an opportunity for my family.
And yet your situation has only gotten worse since going viral. You're probably one of the only content creators I've ever seen, and I say content creator loosely, whose situation has gotten worse since going viral. It's also the only thing you seem to care about is the fact that you went viral, the fact that you get views, the fact that you're making money off of this. This is all that actually matters to you. Well, also Drew and your TikTok. Drew and your infamy. You don't seem to care about anything else. And you certainly don't seem to care enough to put the work in to make everything better, to make your content better, to improve your metrics, to improve your audience engagement. You can't be arsed. Half the time you're insisting that it's rage bait. And then you're mad because people are upset with you.
And I still do. I still, despite every bit of people just knocking us down and trying to make this not work for us, I still fully have...
Someone said, I actually live in a house with my job. Yeah, same. I didn't buy this house with social media money. I'm not that lucky. I bought this house with my blood, sweat, and fucking tears. Me and Mr. Cursed Eye worked our asses off. Everything we have came before social media. The social media revenue that I'm just starting to finally earn is just, it's a cherry on top. And you know what we're doing? We're trying our best to save it. We don't want to be an Alicia Doherty who gets a lien on their house and has to take out a second mortgage when she's making like $50,000 a month.
I have faith that every move that I make every fucking day is for my children and trying to make their life better. And I know...
Bullshit. Where? How is this live stream bettering your children's future? How is you coming on the internet and talking negatively about one of your kids' biological parent bettering the situation for all your kids overall? How is this, which is just pissing everyone off, helping? How? Where's the intentionality? This is impulsive. This is reactionary. This is just more of the same from you. This is not thought out, calculated, or anything. This is not going to better your situation. Again, everything you have done has only made your situation worse. And yet you're unwilling to acknowledge why that is.
I know that about myself. And I don't care if you don't.
Or if you do acknowledge it, it's high level. Just like, yeah, maybe I could have prevented us from being in this situation. But like, that's about as deep as you're willing to fucking get. And then you sit here and say, oh, I don't care. I don't care what people think. But you do care. You care so much. Because you won't shut up about it.
Don't see that about me. Sure, my baby.
The first time I watched this, I thought the baby was in the motel room and I was very concerned, but actually the baby's behind her, which is also says a lot when the baby has to nap in the car.
I was going to say something, but I heard my baby make a sound. I thought she was waking up. Honestly, kind of threw me off. Oh man, that's driving me nuts. I can't bring that thought back. She gone.
Someone says, if you make all this money, go buy a house. Yep. This person says, so you make more money than us, but you have to have a GoFundMe? A ton of question marks. Yeah. Why do you have to have a GoFundMe if you make more money than most of us?
Tell you that the beat boo bitch.
You make more than you make more than us, yet we have homes. Yeah.
The kids are at school. What you think? It's Thursday. Momo's in the back of the car. Bubba's sleeping in there with Babe, with Drew.
You run from all accountability. You run and run. Yep. You're right, Pickle Dog. Also amazing username.
So, someone sent me a book, and
I know who did this. I know who did this, and I love it. I love it. She's never gonna read it, but I know who did this.
I appreciate it, but I also kind of laugh because the book is titled "So You've Been Publicly Shamed." I'm sure we're not both just looked at each other like yes and no, because to deny.
Another person said, you make more money than us, but you get food stamps. Yeah.
The fact that what people have said about me and all this stuff that is continued to be said about me has no effect, that's fucking silly. It definitely does. But also deep down I know none of that shit has anything.
Someone said people need to send you job applications. Yeah.
To do with me. It's not.
Let's go back.
That's fucking silly. It definitely does. But also deep down I know none of that shit has anything to do with me. It's not.
What? Everything that people are criticizing you for are things that you have said and done. So it has everything to do with you. What you're doing is problematic. You are glamorizing child neglect. What are you talking about? This has everything to do with you. If it's affecting your mental health, you should address it. Also, about that book, let me tell you what the person said to me in DMs, because they also suggested I read it. They thought I would enjoy it. They said, so the act of sending Stephanie this book inspired me to reread my own copy of So You've Been Publicly Shamed. In a very different way, it seems like it could be up your alley. I don't expect Stephanie to read it, so I was partially looking for a shocking title, but it's about how we use social media today to shame people who we disagree with, and how that's not necessarily a bad thing. Basically, that it's democratic to the core. She's not going to read it. But imagine if she did read it and she could comprehend it. Probably a wasted effort, but funny. Funny all the same.
The rest is still unwritten. You know what I'm saying? The rest of my life and what's before and ahead of us, not before us. I mean, I guess you could look before, but anyways, ahead.
Pink T says, I know, but I can't help but wonder if her mental health is declining. What will she do when her back is really up against the wall? I don't trust her. She seems very unstable. I have to agree with you, Pink T. And I recently did a video about just this, that she is not taking care of her mental health. She is actively declining. She has said throughout her content, especially in the last 6 months, that her mental health is declining. She'll try to claim postpartum, but I don't think it's postpartum. I think this is unmanaged mental illness that's just spiraling out of control. And it's super concerning.
Ahead of us, it doesn't matter based off what people have to say. Especially people being like, well, you married a blah, blah, blah.
Making more than us, yet you and your family of 7 are living in a motel. Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
Let's go back.
Especially people being like, well, you married a blah, 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 blah.
But you did. You married Jeremiah, and you knew, according to your own statements, according to your mother, according to Jeremiah, and according to Jeremiah's mother. You knew. And it really bothers you that people know that you knew.
That's wonderful that your parents taught you how to know who you're dating and
Oh, look, she's blaming her mom again. It's mom's fault. I didn't know how to recognize it, even though everyone around me told me about it.
what you're getting yourself into before the age of 18, and you didn't have to marry some crazy effer to find that stuff out.
Common sense suggests that maybe you shouldn't get married before the age of 18, by the way.
That's awesome that you actually...
All the comments, his mom told you, his mom told you. Exactly. No accountability. She knew. I showed it in my video, which again, I need to finish editing, re-editing, so I can re-upload it.
Lack that much knowledge, because that means you've never had to go through it, and I love that for you.
So my comments on Reddit, comments on TikTok, comments on Facebook, there has been an overwhelming amount of people who have come out, who have experienced domestic violence, who have experienced problematic partners, who have spoken out against Stephanie, who have taken issue with her behavior, including when she rage baited domestic violence. A lot of people who are watching the Resilient Jenkins, who are criticizing the Resilient Jenkins, are victims themselves, who have been through it. They know what it's like to go through it, and they are baffled by her behavior. They're baffled by how she could have known and stayed. She just doesn't want to admit that. She doesn't want to hear that part. She doesn't want to acknowledge that a large portion of her audience have the same lived experience as she does, if not more so. Because then that invalidates this narrative she wants to sell us, that she's a victim and we could never understand what it was like. And maybe that's true. Maybe we can't fully understand. But the fact of the matter is, she has admitted to knowing. Her mother told her. His mother told her. He told her. And even if she wants to keep leading into that, I didn't know the whole story, she found out by her own admission in videos that she found out throughout their marriage the true scope of it. And she still let him be a stay-at-home dad. She seemingly only really left him because he got a vasectomy. Seemingly.
I actually genuinely love that you're so naive to what I've been through, because you've never...
It's so fucking condescending. It's so condescending to everyone watching this who has had the same experiences, if not worse.
Never had to do it. And that's okay. Because...
Condescending.
People who get it, like...
Also notice the change of her tone here. She's gotten quieter. She's using her keep sweet voice. She's looking down a lot more. It's really reminding me of this Mad Mama, because this Mad Mama does the same thing. She doesn't look at the camera. Her voice gets higher. She gets quieter. She gets whinier. It's manipulation. This is performative.
Marrying someone who says they're one thing, and then all of a sudden you get to find out all these crazy things about them. I didn't know who I married is a fucking thing.
Someone says, ah, yes, blame your mom instead of yourself. Yeah.
Dang. You ever watch that stuff?
You knew.
Now, I knew of one charge. I knew of one thing that he had mentioned.
You knew of one charge. Even if that's true, you knew, and you chose to dismiss it. You chose not to dig into it. You didn't see that as a red flag.
To me, and actually, I never really looked up his record myself when I definitely should have, but I'm telling you, the lack of...
You told his mother, according to his mother, you told her you don't care. And then when you and Jeremiah moved to California the first time, when A was a baby, when your mother did a full background check to try to get him a job and found out everything else that hadn't been told to her, you guys left. You packed up your U-Haul and you went back to Oregon. You knew. You can't sit here and say you didn't know, because you knew before you even had your second daughter. If not even before you had your first daughter.
Of parenting that I had, and not even lack of parenting, the messed up part of parenting that I had didn't teach me.
Christy says, I'm going to go back.
Messed up part of...
Christy says, once you brought kids into it, nobody feels bad for you. Yeah, full stop. Kids are involved here. That's why nobody has a lot of sympathy for you. That's the part that you don't seem to want to grasp. You keep victimizing yourself, and you don't understand that people don't want to hear it. This Bad Mama does the same thing. People are concerned about the kids, and your lack of concern for the kids is the red flag here. It's all about you. It's not about the kids. It's never about the kids. Unless, of course, they're a pawn in your tug of war with another adult that you're trying to get the upper hand against. You're trying to smear and break down and cut down.
The parenting that I had didn't teach me anything.
Oh, yes, here we go. We're blaming mom again.
Oh, and I see some video the other day where someone was saying something about, like, I claimed that I was rebuilding my relationship with my mom, and that's not happening. But I think that the last thing I spoke on that was me stating that it's not happening, because I tried.
That's not true. She's still talking to her mom. I have it on good authority, first of all, that she's still talking to her mom, but also the last couple of videos that she made about her mom that I can recall, she says she's talking with her mom. So this is another bold-faced lie. And oh, here we go, deflection. Yeah, this is what this is.
To open my relationship back up with my mom, assuming that she's worked on a lot of things that were very triggering as a child, and no, she has not. And I don't need that.
Is anyone else sick of Stephanie Thompson's mommy issues? Like, for real, girl. Nobody cares. Go sort it out. Also, you're still talking to your mom. You know what? Let's go find it. Let's go find it in on her Facebook page. She said she's still talking to her mom. Oh, apparently there was a members only I didn't see. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. This was July 11th.
I just figured a lot of the struggles we had with our relationship before was us not understanding each other, not giving each other that chance to understand. And I feel like I want to give my mom that chance, and I know she would love to give me that chance as well, to just get to know each other outside of the past that we hold on to. Get to know each other for the healed individuals we're both trying to work towards, and possibly build stronger together. So
Stronger together. That's it.
Yeah, I reached out to my mom, I don't know, a little over a week ago, and we've been just kind of small talk, chit chat, catch up. But she's my mom. I'm always gonna love her.
Okay. So that was that. And then I believe she did a TikTok in August saying the same thing, that she reached out to her mom about housing, and then she lied, by the way, and said, "Oh yeah, my mom says I've been doing everything." And then she lied and said that her mom confirmed that she had tried everything, which, by the way, was bullshit. Let's scroll down. If she has said anything since then, it's news to me. I don't have any knowledge of anything she has said since. Why are we doing a sexy face licking his hat? That is nasty. What the fudge? Oh, man. She's so exhausting. Okay, let's go down. Oh, here it is. Housing update.
Hi, my resilient besties. How y'all doing?
So this is from August 8th. And in this, she will say that she talked to her mom.
I have called all the resources. I even reached out to my own mother, who does social work for a living, and asked her if there's any resources I haven't tapped into, and she said, "Girl, you actually called them all." Honestly, this latest denial took me by surprise, because I really thought this place was going to work out.
This is bullshit, by the way. Anyway, she's still talking to her mom, so I don't know what she's talking about here.
I love my mama. I do. I'll always care for her. And
You love her, but you constantly drag her publicly. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting form of love you have here, Stephanie.
be respectful of what she did. She did the best she could. But I don't need that in my life.
Little Miss Deep in Seed says, "How come everything is never her fault?" Good question. We don't know.
Quite yet. I'm just not there yet. I knew that when I did want to talk to my mom again, it was going to be when I was mentally ready, and I really forced it.
Sorry. So it says, okay, first of all, someone says, That has nothing to do with how your parents raised you. Agreed, Becca. Someone else says, I mean, you accused her of SA to the whole internet, and then she took it back. BT dubs, she took it back. So it's... She lied about that, but that's not the comment that made me laugh.
Talk to my mom again.
Someone said, you look so young and pretty. Don't lie to her, Pizza Garage. Don't come out here and... Don't you lie to her, Pizza Garage. She does not look young. She looks like she's been having a hard time. Another person says, you're putting trauma on your kids too. Yes, this is the other thing. Stephanie loves to talk about how her mother traumatized her and this, that, and the third, as Stephanie would say. But she never, ever acknowledges how her own decisions are doing the same thing to her own kids. Isn't that crazy?
It was going to be when I was mentally ready, and I really forced it because of other people's opinions, and I shouldn't have done that. It's crazy how much, like, I don't know.
Christy says, we all got stuff, girl. Not an excuse to not care for your kids. Agreed. Caitlin and her, girl, shut your bitch ass up. Yeah.
Content creators become people's little pawns. Like, you want us to run our content the way you want us to. You want us to have our life the way that you think it should look. The way
I'm sorry. If people wanting you to take care of your children and protect them and not neglect them is us telling you what to do, you've lost the plot. You're beyond help.
I see content creators is turn on the TV. You get a say about what the hell they put in the episode on TV? No.
Yes. People do it all the time. All the time. Also, social media is not the same as TV. What you want is passive engagement and a hug box. You want people to sing your praises or say nothing. You want all the accolades, all the benefits, all the reward, and none of the criticism. That's not how social media works. That's not how being a content creator works. Also, people have opinions about famous people, about television shows, about things that they like or they didn't like. TMZ was literally created to expose Hollywood.
Turn on your TV and watch it. Just because we're average.
Like, where does she think Rotten Tomatoes came from? Like, where did the Razzies come from? Why do those things exist if people are turning on their TV and just accepting what they see? That's not how this works. If this wasn't a thing, there wouldn't be critics. There wouldn't be reviews. We wouldn't say that something bombed at the box office or a show got canceled. They wouldn't cancel things if people weren't voicing their dissatisfaction.
People doesn't make the situation any different. You would not be running your mouths.
Someone said you're not a content creator. Yeah.
At the higher up, and would you say this stuff? I'm trying to think of someone that people actually respect. Miley Cyrus, okay? And be like, well, she's not doing nothing wrong with her life.
So first of all, everything that I say on my channel, I would say to your face. This is me just talking. I am talking as if I'm speaking to Stephanie Thompson, and of course to you guys. What I'm saying, I would say out loud to you. Also, I have no problem saying to higher ups what I think. It's part of my job. I work in a creative industry. I have literally told my creative director, my narrative director, my art director, why I think something is wrong. It's part of my job. There have been many conversations where I've pushed back on things. I said, I don't think that's the right move, and this is why. I have no problem telling people what I think. That has never been a problem for me. You, Stephanie Thompson, can't handle people telling you what they think, and you keep comparing yourself to celebrities, and you have it in your head that people don't criticize celebrities, as if people didn't just go in on David Harbour recently, and Lily Allen, or even Nicki Minaj and Cardi B's beef, or Kim Kardashian buying her way into things that she has no business in because Nepo baby. Like, I think the most recent scandal was that she got a gig for Northwest to play the violin poorly at a fashion show that was supposed to be a job for a professional concert musician. But because nepotism, she bought her way in so that her kid, who is so learning the violin could play at a fashion show. Or the time that she bought her way into Northwest playing Simba at a live action musical of The Lion King, and it was also not good, and wouldn't even let her daughter wear the Disney costume. She insisted that her daughter wear Kanye's Yeezy line or whatever. Celebrities get criticized all the time. Or what's her face? Ryan Reynolds' wife. I don't remember her name because she doesn't matter. I don't care for her. Also, Miley Cyrus is extremely talented. How dare you put her name in your mouth and even make a comparison to Miley, who has been working her ass off since she was a child and is also really talented.
Like, but if God forbid she did, you know, Miley Cyrus
has a team of people working for her who tell her and guide her and help her create her brand, her music, her product. You don't have any of that because you can't listen to anyone. You can't even take fucking criticism from your own children.
Probably a wrong example because she's actually amazing. I like her. But Lord knows if we all had a chance to talk to Trump, we'd say some stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what everyone else's social media looks like, but there's a lot of people saying what they think about stuff right now, whether it's political or celebrity news or whatever. I don't know why she thinks she's immune to this, especially on social media, which is interactive. It's interactive. The reason you went viral is because people engaged with you. You need those same people. You need that engagement. You need that engagement. You need that criticism. You need that interaction. You are not a television channel. This is not passive content.
I was just trying to give an example, but it's really not the best example.
No shit.
I really want a fucking...
Angel Baby Honey says, Miley is like 20 years younger than you. Oh my god, it's true. Although I think Miley's my age, actually. Helps if I can spell her name. 32. Miley Cyrus is 32. She's actually 2 years older than Stephanie Thompson, and she looks way younger. Spoke no lies.
Blender back. Like bad. I don't know if y'all seen that video. I feel like this is the first time I'm just having a chance to like catch up and say a lot of the things that I haven't had a chance to say on video, because most of the time when I'm trying to do lives and when I'm trying to just like make a video, I'm also chasing children around. I'd never seen much of a need for childproofing until we were in this motel, and my golly, it would be nice, because I'm constantly just trying to make sure that the babies aren't getting into something, you know?
What childproofing? Where? When? There are chemicals under the bed. This is someone who has mixed on multiple occasions Pine Sol and bleach, which you're not supposed to do, by the way, and then said, oh, it's fine, I opened a window, while the infant and toddler were in the room with her. Childproofing? What childproofing? I'm pretty sure, because I just did a video on the Jenkins, and I used one of her recent cooking videos. There was shit all over the floor. You know what? We're going to go find it. We're going to find it. I think it is the meatloaf one. Right here.
See what we got to work with today, okay? So
garbage on the floor. Oh look, more shit on the floor. So baby-proofed. Look at all this stuff on the floor. Baby-proof for sure, right? Yep. So baby-proofed. Also, that is spicy honey. I circled it in my video, but it's not, I didn't call it out. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Guys, skip. Okay, whatever. Let's go find one of her day in the life cleaning whatevers. Let's see here. Spend the evening with me while I talk about my new job. Oh yeah, this was rage bait, by the way. Someone left me a bunch of comments that they then deleted, demanding to know why I wasn't covering this and claiming she doxed people when she didn't. I don't cover rage bait when it's obvious. It's not worth it. The only reason we're even watching this is to see the supposed baby proofing she's done, which, look, there's dishes on the floor. You know, I'm going to mute her because I don't want to hear her stupid. Yeah, dishes on the floor. So baby proofed. Look, more dishes. And garbage and recycling on the floor. Definitely baby proofed. Okay, that was a bad example. See another one. Ah, a Sunday reset. Oh, look, more shit on the floor, including food. Cool. Look at this. Look at this. Skip ahead. Yeah, so baby-proofed. Yeah. So baby-proofed. Look at all this shit on the floor. There's a cleaner. There's cleaner on the floor. Look. Stuff on the floor. That's a plastic bag just sitting on the floor. Bags, junk, more chemicals on the floor. Look at all these cables and tools on the floor. More stuff on the floor. Another loose plastic bag on the floor. Suffocation hazard. And chemicals. More garbage on the floor. Including that, the tooth flosser. That's sharp. She could choke on that. Look at the junk everywhere. There's stuff under the bed there. It looks like chemicals again. So many cables. Do you know what would be easier, Stephanie? Pulling the hamper out of there and cleaning it up. She literally cleans like someone who's never cleaned before. Jesus. Anyway, we're getting off topic. We're getting off track. Baby proofing my eye.
So I'm like, wash a dish, turn around. Wash a dish, turn around.
Your daughter does the dishes. I just did a video where you're berating her yet again for not doing dishes. You don't do dishes. Also, we just saw the piles of dirty dishes on the floor. If you don't make child labor do the dishes, they don't get done. I guarantee you.
I got a burp.
Shelly Belly Green Bean. You make more money than us. Childproof. That's right. Since you make more money than us, you shouldn't have any trouble. Really, since you make so much more money than us, you can afford a housekeeper to take care of your motel room. Just saying.
Do you? Because I also see like a lot of people who try to share their housing journey with people.
Please, they eat off the floor with prescription pills and knives present. Yep. Oh, that's right. There was a video not that long ago of her baby eating floor bacon. I forgot about that. I don't remember which one it is, though. I think it was around the time she showed the pack and play, which she said was rage bait. Oh, it's this one. Little reset and rant. There's food on the floor. She's stepping on it. That's like a piece of bacon. Look at all the stuff on the floor in here. All of these are concerns. Yep, she just ate floor bacon. She's eating food off that filthy floor. Look at, there's a piss jug or a jug of like cleaner under the bed there. Baby proof day. Yeah, okay.
You just regret it because there's so many ups and downs with trying to find housing. And like a couple months ago, I was really convinced that we were going to get this place. I was like, yes. The process of the application took me 2.5 hours.
Okay. It took me months to find my current house. I had to make a spreadsheet. I was searching the entire southern half of Quebec for a house that met our wish list. 2.5 hours is nothing.
And still nothing. And I kind of hate getting hopeful about.
Is she talking about the housing application she did in August that she got rejected for? Because if she's still talking about that, that was like, what, 3 months ago? Have you done any other applications since? Because it's a numbers game. You got to keep applying. You got to keep trying. You can't just do it once, get your hopes up, then get upset when it doesn't work out. That's not how this works. Do you know how many houses I looked at when we were looking for this house during the height of the seller's market here in Quebec during the pandemic? And how many of them, before we could even go see it, had already had an offer put on it? Or I would start looking at it, and when I reached out to my realtor and said, hey, can I get some more info on this property? She let me know, someone's already made an offer. It's now off market. Within a day. It took me months of combing through hundreds and hundreds of listings in our price range across the entire southern half of this province to whittle down a list of possible properties. And then we had to contend with them not being available or someone beating us to the punch or bidding wars. 2.5 hours is nothing, and you should be trying a lot fucking harder, in my opinion.
About it, because I'm like, oh, this sounds like a good opportunity, this could be it, and then, you know what I'm saying? But we did get some resources sent to us from...
You can't get your hopes up. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. That's not practical. That's... Jeez Louise. They have no emotional maturity. They have no sense of how to be an adult. And I think this is like a fundamental difference between us, the people watching this and who are horrified and like confused and don't understand, and the Jenkins, which is that for us, we understand that sometimes you just have to knuckle under and you just got to get it done. Doesn't matter how you feel, doesn't matter how upset you are, getting it done and doing what you need to do takes precedent over your feelings. That's when it comes to housing, our kids, everything else. Sometimes we have to set ourselves aside and just do it. Just get it done. Because getting our hopes and dreams dashed and like lingering and stewing on that is not practical. It has no purpose or value in the situation at hand. Meanwhile, this one, sitting here in the front seat of a car that can't even fit her entire family, talking about how she's bummed out about the few places she bothered to apply to, rejecting her. Unbelievable.
A supporter who's actually a friend of Drew's before we got together. And I'm trying to reach out to those resources. So prayers.
Where the hell were these resources back in March and February and January? People have been sending her resources. Where were these resources? How come CPS hasn't given her these resources? Everything that everyone in Oregon and specifically in Portland have told me is that there are so many resources available. All she has to do is use them. Also, the mother of one of DS's friends gave her resources, reached out and worked with the school social worker to try to help the Jenkins back in November 2024, a year ago. She did nothing with it. But now one of Drew's work friends is suddenly coming in clutch with a get out of jail free card, essentially, with all of these missing resources that they didn't have access to for an entire year almost. Bullshit. This is performative. She has literally had people offer her housing. She has had people offer help, resources, everything. She doesn't use any of it, but now we have a Hail Mary? I don't believe it. I don't believe anything she says, really, at this point.
That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to be too hopeful.
So I'm sorry, did we just start, like, fake crying here?
That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to be too hopeful.
She turned that emotion off real freaking fast. Let's go.
Want to be resources. So prayers. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to be too hopeful.
Yeah, I don't buy this. I make more money than you, Methany. Yeah. If you make more money than us, why do you need resources?
I keep just like taking a minute and like processing what I want to say next because I've been known to just blurt out whatever
Someone says, by the way, Drew told us you waste money and are the reason you have none. When did he say that? I didn't see that. That's interesting. I need that clip.
It's on my mind. And it's not always something that I want to share. Yeah, so last night, I just needed a minute. I just needed a minute to...
A lot of comments are saying the same thing. Resources, but you said you make more money than us. Yeah.
Unwind from it's so very loud sometimes in there. So I went and just...
Let's go back.
I just needed a minute. I just needed a minute to unwind from it's so very loud sometimes in there. So
I wonder why that is. Whose doing was that?
I went and just parked in the dollar store parking lot, but I parked like back by...
Sorry, there was a comment that was pretty brutal.
So I went and just parked in the dollar store park.
Someone says, Stephanie, your profile makes me so grateful for the parents I had. They were so much better. Oof. Oof. KO.
Lot, but I parked like back by, in front of this abandoned building, and I started thinking to myself, like, do I give myself my own anxiety about the surroundings outside? Because I binge watch true crime, okay? And I can't go nowhere without being like, checking out my back, making sure there ain't no one behind me, someone staring at me too long, like, I'm freaked out. And, like, you could call that paranoia, but I also think a fair amount of, like, paranoia and awareness is probably a good thing, because true crime exists because of actual things happening, so...
So first we say that the constant sniffing and nose wiping is just a nervous tick. Now we're saying that the paranoia is because I watch a lot of true crime. Yeah, okay, it's true crime. Sure it is, Stephanie. Listen, I consume a lot of true crime. A lot. I think it's very common for women specifically to enjoy true crime, but it hasn't made me paranoid. It has made me more conscientious and aware, but not paranoid. Also, they moved to a bad part of town that is known for crime. It's known for human trafficking, drug trafficking, and violent crime. What?
There's that.
Sounds like bullshit.
Also prolonging this live a little bit more than I was anticipating because, for one, my baby's still sleeping. And two, it's a mental game every time I have to go back into that motel room. Every time.
Well, whose fault is that? And if it's a mental game for you every time you have to go back in there, I wonder what it's like for the kids. Just saying.
And I don't express it a lot, but it just is. It's like walking back into your prison cell. And I know that's terrible because we're housed, and we're not housed. We have a roof over our head. We have food. We have
a prison cell. But she just finished telling us that she makes more money than most of us. But now she's comparing the motel room to a prison cell. Interesting. Here's the thing. I don't think it would matter if she was in a motel room or a 5-bedroom house. I don't think it would matter. I don't think the way she feels, the way that they take care of their children or don't take care of their children, the way that they prioritize themselves over their kids, I don't think any of that's going to change. I don't think her relationship issues with Drew are going to change. I don't think any of this is going to change. And her feelings, this feeling of being in a prison cell, this isn't even a new feeling for her. She has made similar complaints as far back as 2022. It doesn't matter if it's a motel room or if it was a 5-bedroom house, these problems are going to persist because Stephanie Thompson has bit off more than she can chew. It's not lost on me that this decline for her began when she lost connection with her family, when she started cutting them out at the beginning of 2024. Because Stephanie has always had help. When she was with Jeremiah, he was a stay-at-home dad. Then it was her mother and her sister providing childcare for her while she worked. Then she met Drew, and she still had a relationship with her sister and her mother, who were still coming around, still visiting, still helping. And then in 2024, after a fight with her mother over Drew at Christmas, and then again over her toddler's birthday that following March, she starts cutting them off again, like for good. And from 2024 to the beginning of 2025, despite going viral, we see a rapid decline. And I think it's because she can't do this alone. And Drew's not helping. She thinks she can do it alone, but she can't. She is the author of her own misery. She is her own jailer. And if that motel room feels like a prison cell for her, I can only imagine what it feels like for those 5 kids. And this is what we've been saying the entire time, that this is not acceptable, that they shouldn't be getting comfortable in this because they seem to be getting comfortable. And if she makes more money than the rest of us, there's no excuse for them to still be there. But bottom line, I don't think it matters where they are going to be, because these problems aren't going to go away, because these are Stephanie problems.
Have her needs met. So to me, it sounds so...
Big asterisk on having your needs met. The basics, the bare minimum maybe, but...
Fish to not be grateful for even just the motel room.
A lot of people are saying the same thing. Imagine how the kids feel. Yeah.
Like comfortability and convenience and stuff, it's not a necessity. Those are different. There's a difference. But I do think that America has, like, I don't know, set everybody up to believe that the comforts are necessities, if that makes sense. And, like, yes, to a fair...
JJC, it's not America's fault. Someone, I am crazy Jester in Pink Tea's chat says, oh no, not the tears again. Or sorry, oh no, tears again. This to me just underscores my theory that Stephanie and Drew did not grow up with hardship. Because every single person I know who grew up low income or grew up impoverished, their go-to isn't comfort. It is necessity. To the point that when they are in a position financially where they can afford comfort, they still neglect it. They still struggle to allow themselves to spend that money. And I'm like this too. A great example of this is the fact that I need to go to the salon. I haven't managed to go yet. So right now, my roots are showing, my gray is showing like crazy. My hair needs to be cut. I definitely have split ends probably. I just haven't made it in. I'm not prioritizing going to the salon, even though there's no reason for me not to go. It's not like I can't afford to go to the salon and get my hair dyed and styled and cut and everything. But because I was raised in a way where getting haircuts wasn't a priority, where these things were allowed to go as long as possible, I neglect that in myself because it's not a necessity for me to have my hair cut or have my roots dyed. So yeah, I'm not convinced that Stephanie and Drew know how to be poor because they're just way too comfortable inflicting this situation onto their children. Way too comfortable.
People are just going to spin that and I don't care. Y'all spin what you want to say about me. I don't care.
She cares. She cares a whole hell of a lot.
Do believe the kids deserve way more space than this. They deserve... I mean, ideally, each of them would have their own room, but that's a big house, yo.
Yeah. It's almost like you should have thought about that before you decided to have 5 children. Again, I understand that things happen. Life throws you curveballs. You end up with a pregnancy you weren't expecting, etc. But Stephanie consciously got pregnant twice since moving in with Drew, despite living in a 1-bedroom apartment. There was no forethought, in my opinion. She wasn't thinking about how are we going to house all these children. She didn't care. Also, she used to say that she wanted a tiny home. She somehow was going to stuff 5 children into a tiny home. She also, though, said that she wanted a big kitchen and a laundry room, which I don't know how that works with a tiny home. But it has never sounded to me like she has ever actually thought critically about how to realize a future that betters her children. There's no groundwork, there's no forethought, there's no intentionality, there's nothing. She just says stuff that sounds good at the time, but does nothing to make it happen. Because again, I don't know anyone who intentionally brings more children into the world while living in a one-bedroom apartment. And that's no shade to people who ended up in a one-bedroom apartment situation because of the housing crisis and a lack of funds, whatever. But to continue to have children after you have chosen to be in that situation and then just decide to bring 2 more kids into it when there's already 3 kids in that situation, that's selfish. And it tells me you weren't thinking about the future. You put all your eggs into the social media basket, hoping that someone was going to buy you out of your bad choices. That's what that sounds like to me.
That's probably.
Someone just said, you have to work for comfort. It's not a given. Correct. Comfort's not a priority. Basic comfort, yes. Like, everyone deserves a comfortable bed. Everyone deserves to use toilet paper that doesn't scratch their butt. Everyone deserves to have a good meal that makes them feel warm and cozy and, pushes back the bad everything a little bit. I'm very big on cottagecore, hobbitcore. Everyone deserves to feel comfortable and cozy. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Higa. We're talking about comforts. We're talking about nice to haves. I don't know if she's talked about it yet or if she's about to talk about it. She's going to say she misses having a blender. A blender is a nice to have. You don't need a blender. Unless, of course, you're the edge case where you have a family member who needs to eat pureed foods, for example. You're the exception. But the average person in Stephanie's situation doesn't need a blender. I think you can get by without smoothies. That's not me saying you don't deserve to have smoothies. That's me saying you need to be practical about this. Especially if your goal is to get out of a motel shelter and to not be homeless anymore. Maybe we don't need a blender.
A little bit more than we can afford right now. I don't even know of any 6-7 bedrooms or houses.
Oof. I can't wait to see a documentary about you. Oh man, I really hope we don't end up as a documentary because that means something really bad happened. I don't want that to happen.
Here, but to be fair, I don't be looking for that, so. But anyways, yeah. I think about it all. I think about
Someone says, having a house is not a luxurious thing. You need that for your children. I mean, given how difficult housing is right now in North America, in Canada, and the United States, I would say owning a house is a luxury at this point in this economy. But striving for housing, comfortable housing, like adequate housing, I don't think that is a luxury.
People act like me and Drew are just living it up in this motel, and it's like...
You are. As soon as you moved into this motel, you hung up your stupid dream catcher, you made it comfortable, you made it cozy, you started transforming it into a home. If this was supposed to be a temporary thing, I don't think she said it yet. She's going to say that I only expected this to be like 3 months. If you were only expecting to stay in the motel room for 3 months, you wouldn't have put so much effort into making it cozy. Out the gate. Hanging up lights, hanging up your dream catcher, doing all this extra stuff. You wouldn't have done any of that. You would have kept your eye on the prize if that was true. In my opinion.
Like, y'all, I think about the fact that I have to hush my children so many times throughout the day because my man is sleeping and we're all in one room. And, like, that's so unfair to both.
Okay, first of all, why can't Drew sleep with earplugs? If he has to sleep during the day, why can't he sleep with earplugs? Someone explain that to me. I'm talking about like the little foamy things that you shove in your ear. They were actually recommended by a bunch of travel vlogs and friends of mine when we went to India because it's really loud in India. There's a lot of honking and banging and sounds. Like the cacophony of sound in India is quite overwhelming if you're not used to it, which I'm not. I live in the country. It is very quiet here. So they tell you to bring earplugs so that you can sleep if you're not accustomed to noise. Why can't Drew do that?
Both parties in this situation, because Drew should be able to
Someone said, my man, my man, my man, my man. Yeah, it's always about Drew.
Sleep, for adequate sleep for his body, but at the same time, like, our children should be able to be loud, obnoxious children, like children should.
They should be. So he should get some fucking earplugs.
So just having them quiet, and like, it's not just
They don't have to be quiet. You just need to find a better way to manage noise.
Because then the babies nap, and the older kid's got to be quiet then, like.
Why do the kids need to be quiet for the nap? We have seen footage of you putting the kids down for a nap at the old apartment while the TV was blaring and Drew was on his game on voice chat. It was extremely loud. And now you're saying the kids have to be quiet because the babies need sleep. You're on live stream right now talking while your infant is napping behind you. They actually recommend that during the day, when the baby naps, that you go about your regular day-to-day, like, house sounds so that they get used to those sounds and sleep through them. That's recommended. Maybe for the toddler, it's a little bit harder, but at the same time, the toddler isn't napping as much as the baby. So it's only for, like, 2 hours a day where the kids need to be quiet time, read some books, be on their tablets with some headphones. You're acting like it's impossible. It's difficult, certainly, but it's not impossible to live in this situation, to organize when people need to be quiet and how to handle noise problems, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I'm just saying, like, you're making it out to be a lot harder than it is.
This shit should not have lasted as long as it's lasted. No fucking...
Agreed. I agree. Yet, Mrs. I make more money than everyone. Why are you still in this situation?
242 days. Ew, no. Man, when we first went into the room right in front of me, I looked Drew in the face and I said, this is not going to last more than 3 months. No.
Yeah, I'm sure you said that.
And it's crazy, but because that's what happens with comfortability and necessities, is you start to realize, okay, I didn't think I could do this, and here I am doing it for this long. I didn't think I could.
That's not comfortability. That's not comfort. That's you adapting to the situation. That's normal.
Do this. And again, here I am. It just keeps happening. You keep adapting and being more resilient to what you thought you...
It's like that moment in the movie where they say the title of the movie, but crappier. Oh my god.
You would never be able to do. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's called conformability.
Mm-hmm. By the way, conformability is a word. I googled it last night and I was surprised that it was a word, but it's about like geology and stuff. That's usually when it's used, so I don't think she's using it correctly here. It's not about conforming. It's about adapting. You have adapted to the situation in hand, but people don't want you to get comfortable and make this your normal, which it seems like you have. People are worried about that because it means that you might be less likely to leave this situation if you get too comfortable. That's not about conformity.
Again, I'm aware of these things.
Even if you're aware of it, it doesn't mean you're doing anything about it. Lots of people are aware of their shortcomings and still do nothing to solve it.
Aware of way more than y'all give me credit for. I'm tired.
Again, it's not about giving you credit. It's about waiting for you to do something about it.
Putting a shoelace to the steering wheel because it's just helping my hands from being...
Badash says in Pink Tea's chat, it's your fault it lasted, dipshit. Yeah, like, they're the reason. If she makes more, again, if she makes more money than we do, why are we still here? Why do we have a GoFundMe? Why are we getting resources? Why are we doing all these things? Why haven't we just moved? I mean, she'll say it's because of her credit and debt and a bankruptcy that should have been discharged by now, I think. But I think it's them. Like, where's all this money going? That's been the $1 million question at the front of everyone's mind. Where is the social media revenue going? I mean, everyone has their theories. But whether that's the case or not is anyone's guess.
Need to like that. Maybe I need to start crocheting or something when I'm talking, because I hate being a hand talker.
I don't know what's wrong with being a hand talker. I'm a hand talker as well. But yeah, if crocheting helps, do it. But I mean, it's a bit of an expensive hobby.
That shit drives me nuts.
It's unfair to them, says Love44777. It's unfair to them. Yes, agreed.
I feel like anybody who claims that I'm on other stuff has really never experienced people who are on stuff.
Overwhelmingly, I have had a lot of people in my comments. I've seen it on Reddit, on Facebook, on TikTok. Just like I have seen a ton of DV survivors, I have seen a lot of former addicts weigh in on the Jenkins and use their experiences, their understanding of addiction, and 100% of them have said they think she's on something more than just green. Hundreds of former addicts have said they think the resilient Jenkins are using. But Stephanie has the audacity to sit here and say, you have no idea what you're talking about. If you think I'm on something, you clearly have no experience. Yet hundreds of people with experience are saying they think she's using. Make that make sense.
That's another thing.
Also, Drew is a recovered schmeth addict who is living in a part of Portland that is known for drugs. Like, there are surrounding him. Are you telling me that that man has not been tempted to relapse? Is he going to NA meetings? Does he have a sponsor that he's still in contact with? Doubtful. Like, there's no way. A really good friend of mine is a recovered alcoholic. They won't even have vanilla extract. If I make cookies, I made cookies and my vanilla extract is extracted in like whiskey or brandy. And I used it for the cookies. It was some fancy like $20 thing of vanilla extract I got from the store that I happened to have. It was the only vanilla I had. And they wouldn't eat the cookies I made. I was like, well, I think the alcohol got cooked off in the oven. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. They wouldn't even eat the cookies because they don't even want to risk having the taste of alcohol or interacting with alcohol. They don't want to be around it if they can avoid it. By the way, to that person, very proud of you. Like, how does a supposedly recovered addict be California sober, I'm doing quotation fingers, and is living in an area that has active addiction, surrounded by people in active addiction beyond green, who doesn't appear to be in any sort of support group or have a sponsor or anything of that nature. And you're telling me that he's somehow staying on the straight and narrow, especially in an extremely stressful situation that you are currently in, which is being homeless? You're telling me that you guys are completely sober. Well, California sober. That's what you were claiming. I'm pressing X for doubt.
About this motel, like, man, y'all are stupid if you don't know this yourselves, because
that's very condescending. Again, so many people have said from their own position of experience that they think they're using. Only Here 101 says in Pink Tea's chat, a therapist would stop her right there and say, you're intentionally trying to make your life and your kid's life harder because you think it's a good goal to set and achieve? Probably they would. They would be like, wow, so you're making everything worse for reasons? It's kind of reminding me, that comment's reminding me of something this Mad Mama said, where she said that poverty builds character. I think the Jenkins, Stephanie at least, has a similar mindset. I think as much as she fetishizes blackness, she also fetishizes poverty.
You can be like, oh my God, but in this area, there's a lot of that activity, okay?
And yet somehow you guys are just California sober. Okay.
And we kind of see that daily here. I've seen people nodding out in their cars. I've seen people...
Someone says, or Mandy says, as someone who used to be an addict, you're on stuff. What did I just finish saying?
This one guy stayed here a few weeks ago, and he kept, like, just coming outside and, like, I don't even know, just like he's ready to fight. About what? And I'm like, bro, just go back in your freaking room.
Someone just said, poor kids seeing that. Yeah, I agree. It's also not ideal to be exposing kids to a part of town where this is a problem. That can be a scary thing, especially if the people in your environment are actively on something that makes them erratic or scary or unsettling. I don't know how she can be comfortable with the fact that her kids are being exposed to erratic people who may or may not be safe.
It's just drama. There's been a lot that we don't talk about because we just know how honestly weak a lot of you are to things that are just reality to other people.
Oh, we're weak. We're soft. We can't handle the truth. We don't know what we're talking about. I don't think Stephanie has sat down and tried to consider that perhaps those of us who have an issue with their situation it's not coming from a place of weakness or softness. It's coming from a place of, if we don't have to contend with it, why would we? And nobody should be. Why should we? Me wanting to shield my child from a situation like the Jenkins as much as possible for as long as possible is not weakness. That is called being protective. That is called harm reduction.
That's what it comes down to. It's like, I could never. And yeah, we know that.
Again, it's not that we can't. It's that we don't want to. That doesn't make us weak, and that doesn't make us soft. That makes us practical. I'm getting mad again.
Why you ain't doing it?
It's why we ain't doing it. The reason we're not doing it is because we are blessed enough and we've worked hard to not need to. We are actively trying to avoid it if we can. That doesn't make us soft or weak. She's just so condescending. Ugh.
But also, before I was that person, I was the person that's in my comments talking about how, oh, this disgusting area, oh, this is so scary, and this and this. And then I got to learn, and I adapted and got to know that, other than tripping out, staring at the air, what's that guy doing? It's his choice that he decided that that's what he wants to stick in his body. It's
his choice, but it doesn't mean you need to expose your children to it. Also, she will start judging people in the parking lot in 5 minutes, despite saying, I used to be like this, but I now know I'm such a saint. I'm Saint Stephanie now. I've learned to be less judgmental.
It's not affecting me, and I'm not scared of him.
It is affecting you. You literally claimed that you were being followed at the park a month or two ago and took your kids away from the park because you thought people were following you and filming you.
Like these precious little princess ladies want to act. Oh my God, the filth of the streets. Oh my God, the filth of the people. That's so crazy.
Who is saying this, first of all? Also, rude to call us concerned people who are looking at your situation with horror and concern and call us precious princesses because we wouldn't be comfortable in your situation. There have been legitimate concerns raised about the region of Portland that you're living in, the area of Portland that you are living in, because it is statistically unsafe. It has a high rate of human trafficking, including underage girls and boys. It has a high rate of drug trafficking, and it has a high rate of violent crime. Not to mention, I believe within a 5-mile radius of their motel shelter, there's something like 120 sex offenders. Within a 2-mile radius, I think it's 21, and within a half-mile radius, it's 5 registered sex offenders. And I think at least one of them went to jail for trafficking. But we're precious princesses. Because we choose to protect, because we are laying frameworks, because we're thinking ahead, we are weighing our options, we're considering, we are constantly planning to improve our situation actively every moment of the day. We're weak, we're soft, we're little precious princesses. Nobody is shitting on the unhoused, no one is shitting on those who are struggling with addiction. And conflating those two things with legitimate concerns about the safety of your decisions, about the trauma that your decisions are inflicting on your children just goes to show how emotionally unintelligent you are, and unintelligent in general. And again, I understand that there are people who end up unhoused. There are people who end up in areas like the Jenkins against their better wishes, who are thrown curveballs and have to deal with it. I'm not talking about those people, because those people are actively working to better themselves. I'm talking about these two yahoos who are constantly making excuses, constantly refusing to take accountability, who are not actually trying to do anything but complain.
Crazy that you talk about people like that. Man, if I see a homeless man going through the trash can, I'm going to bring some of my food out to him.
Oh, it's Savior Stephanie again.
And stop him from going through the trash can. Instead of being like, eh.
She's also assuming everyone listening to this isn't involved in their community. Because she gives some food to someone who's unhoused, somehow in her mind, she must be better than us. She doesn't know the community outreach anyone else is doing. You don't have to be in Stephanie's situation to be charitable or to recognize the need for charity.
What is that? That mentality of acting like people, because they're on something, are less of a person. They're still a person.
I don't know of anyone who has said that. Babbling Brook says, yeah, we aren't afraid of addicts. I am very kind to homeless people. Yeah, again, I don't know who in this community is saying this. I haven't seen it.
It's crazy. In fact, we were helping this one homeless guy out when we first got into this motel. He come almost every day, and we get whatever leftovers we didn't eat or whatever.
Amy, someone just said, let me just hit play.
He come almost every day, and we get...
Amy Foxhill says, children should not be around people like that, though. Duh. I have to agree. If you can avoid exposing your children to that situation, you should. That's no shade to people in that situation. But it can also be very traumatizing. It can be very scary.
Whatever leftovers we didn't eat or whatever else we had on hand to get him, and especially because I was in the hot summer, we give him anything we had on hand. And then his buddy...
More performative white savior Saint Stephanie, I see. Haley says, quit putting a man above your kids and hustle for them, period. Women are powerful. You got this. I don't think she's got this, but I do agree. She needs to step her pussy up.
He came a couple weeks ago and told us that we had on hand.
Real life Kuromi says, no one talks like that about you. You're projecting, but it's not an environment for children. I agree. This is not a healthy environment for kids, and there's nothing wrong with expressing that.
And then his buddy came a couple weeks ago and told us that he overdosed. He passed away.
That's unfortunate.
So, yeah, man, like, we don't look at people like that. And that's...
Oh, there was a good comment. The kids live in poverty because of the parents' choices. They would not choose this life if given a choice. I agree. It's not the kids' fault. It's Stephanie and Drew's fault. And that's the part that they just will not confront. It's too uncomfortable.
Yeah, man, like, we don't look at people like that. And that's... You don't have to...
Especially when we're sitting here saying, I make more money than most of you. I just need to add that. I just need to bring that back up, because this is someone who is actively bragging that they are wealthier than most of their audience and yet are choosing to subject their children to trauma. Okay.
Oh, they're her buddies. Man, Oh, they're her...
Crystal Heel says, you aren't putting the children first. Just say that. Less yapping, straight to the truth. She's not going to get straight to the truth, sadly.
Buddies. Man, I am not like that. I'm a good person to people. I don't...
If you have to say that you're a good person, you're not. Just like if you have to say you're a good mom, you're not.
Just because they're on something, I'm not going to write...
Karen says, your situation is not your audience's fault. Agreed. It's not our fault.
Them off as a person, and that doesn't mean I'm doing whatever they're doing, if that makes sense.
Maya says, it's almost been a year living in a motel and no progress on a home. You're failing those kids. Shaking my head. Agreed. Badash says in Pink T's chat, court is coming up, y'all. Another dose of karma towards her way. Yeah, this crash out seems to have to do with the impending court stuff with Desiraye, especially because Drew already crashed out earlier this week. We'll watch it at the end. The little clip that's on Reddit. This seems to be just all of the resentment and frustration and anger that Stephanie has, all of her delusions, her entitlement. It's all just, come to a head. And so we're getting this live stream. Someone says, imagine putting this much effort into supporting your children. That's Bass Pro Barbie. Yeah, imagine. Someone else says, why do you think it's always someone else's fault? Good question.
Yeah, I really wanted to thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm sorry if I'm not saying thank you enough. I'm really just not trying to engage with these comments because...
Oh, that was another comment. That was good.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry if I'm not saying thank you.
In the Aftermath says, you've made yourself at home in this, Stephanie. That doesn't make you strong or better than people. I agree. This is what I was saying a little while ago, which is that I think that Stephanie glorifies poverty. She's made poverty part of her identity so that she can have a struggle to hide behind, so that she can participate in an oppression Olympics.
Enough. I'm really just not trying to engage with these comments because a lot of them are booty. Oh. And the thing is, let's bounce back my ADHD.
That baking mom said, trying to avoid responsibility. I agree.
HD brain. That even if we could just...
Someone just said, let me go back.
That even...
Kale says, the point is that isn't an environment you want your kids in. It's unsafe. Agreed.
And if,
Courtney Adams says, because we're right. That too. But she's not going to admit that.
If we could just... Whoosah the freaking drama and... just bring it into what actually matters, to be there and write a perfect parenting plan that benefits.
Okay. I just needed a second.
It actually matters and just bring it into what actually matters, to be there and write a perfect parenting plan that benefits Deshawn. And if that meant...
A parenting plan, as far as I know, was created. Define perfect parenting plan, Stephanie? Because again, Drew has refused mediation. You guys were offered a settlement. You turned it down to go to court. You have been actively working against the court order and ignoring it, and the parenting plan. You have made it extremely difficult for Desiraye to see her child. You have made it difficult every step of the way. So define a perfect parenting plan, because we all know what the perfect parenting plan is. It's that Desiraye's not in the picture. I want to remind everyone listening to this that when Drew first went to court in May, Stephanie made a video where she said that she hoped the judge would see their side and do the right thing, which was not allow Desiraye to see her son. That was her opinion on this before court in May. And then her tune changed, and she's now since tried to say, no, I want to have a relationship with Desiraye, but she won't be my friend. It's Desiree's fault. As though she hasn't dragged Desiraye this entire time, and for years, no less. The FASD stuff, she posted about it before she went viral. She has been making posts, taking swipes at Desiraye for years. But she wants to sit here and now say, if we just had a perfect parenting plan, which is where I get my way, basically, this would not be a problem anymore. You're not going to get your way because you don't have skin in this game. This is not your child. You are not married to Drew. DS, you have no legal right to him. This is between Drew and Desiraye. And I think both of you are scared. You are worried that you are going to lose him. And I wonder why that is. I wonder what you have done that would make it so that Desiraye could win in court. Because if you guys were doing everything you said you were doing, and everything that you've been claiming where we'll see the truth eventually, we'll see what's really happening, and we'll all come around eventually. If that were true, you wouldn't be so fucking worried right now. You wouldn't be on live saying these things, strengthening her case. You wouldn't be complaining about a perfect parenting plan because you already would have been working with Desiraye to make the current parenting plan work.
shared, or not shared holiday. Is that what that's called? Shared holidays when you all get together? Anyway.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Curslings. Does that happen? Does a judge force holidays where both parents have to be present? Because I've never heard of that. My understanding is that you guys have to work out amongst yourselves who gets what days, which holidays, and you take turns. You work around each other. What in the delusion? Does she really think that Desiraye is going to want to bring her kids, and then she brings her kids, and they all get together and have a Merry Christmas together? That's not going to happen. It's certainly not when she's been out here dragging Desiraye. Like, she just made it about race, like, 2 days ago. Saying that the only reason people are helping Desiraye is because of racism. And also, saying that Desiraye is an alcoholic and saying that she's responsible for DS having a bunch of developmental delays that we have no proof of. And then she thinks Desiraye is gonna wanna fucking drink eggnog with her? Carve a turkey together? Share in some Yuletide glee? Like, what delusion?
If there was opportunities like that, I'm not.
Do you know why there aren't any opportunities, Stephanie? It's because you are making it so that there aren't any. You're the problem. It's you.
Going to be nasty. I'm not like that.
You are. You are nasty. This whole live stream is proof of how nasty you are. You're nasty. You just said a bunch of nasty things about Desiraye and others, including the audience. You're nasty. Own it.
I will, everything that I have to say about you, tucked in a motherfucking bottle and put on my freaking nice face.
Well, why aren't you doing that already? That's what I want to know, because you should be doing that already. She said earlier in this live stream that DS doesn't understand why Stephanie and Desiraye can't be friends, which never happened. Manipulation. Why can't she do this now? Why can't she suck it all down and just put on a brave face? Why does she have to keep coming on live streams talking shit about Desiraye? She did a live stream in September where she called Desiraye ugly and implied that she was better looking. Like, she's nasty. She says nasty things, and then, but this is performance. This is just her saying shit. Like, I would go out of my way. I would push all my bad feelings down and make it work. Well, why haven't you then? Why aren't you doing it now? Why are you on live stream doing the opposite? If that were true. You have a parenting plan. Maybe you should start there.
And do whatever the fuck I have to for the child's sake.
So why aren't you?
So, for the children in general, because seem to forget that just because this is about a custody case with just Deshawn, that he don't have, like, siblings involved in the situation. Like, they don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, the disregard for the connection he has with his siblings is fucking wild to me.
Who's disregarding it? Nobody is disregarding his relationship with his siblings in the Jenkins home. But do you know whose sibling relationship was disregarded? His relationship with his biological brothers, Arlita's son and Desiree's other children. That has been disregarded. And now he is reforging that connection, and you're having a fucking crash out about it. And saying, but what about this? What about this other shit? What about them? It's not like he's gonna lose his siblings. The only way he's gonna lose his siblings is if you keep fucking up like this. And my understanding of Oregon and family court, from what I've read online, is that they are going to prioritize a 50-50 situation as much as possible. If they can keep both parents involved, they're going to do it. What is likely going to happen, and I'm not an expert, so I could be wrong, if Desiraye can provide enough proof to the court, she will become the primary parent. She'll have full-time custody of DS, and then Drew will be the one who gets visitation. The roles will reverse. So nothing changes. He's still going to see his siblings at school. He's still going to see his siblings when Drew has visitation with him, has on his days with his son. Nothing else is going to change. It just he might not see his siblings as much. And whose fault is that? You! It's your fault because you're on live stream doing stupid shit like this. If you don't want him to lose connection with you and his siblings, maybe you should smarten the fuck up. Maybe you should shut your fucking pie hole and start being smart. Start working with Desiraye. Start respecting the parenting plan and the court order. Instead of making it about yourself and crying fake savior tears and crying, woe is me.
They love the crap out of each other. They look for each other at school.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. They've had, 3 years to trauma bond? Almost 4 years? Of course they're close. It's not like you let them go on play dates with their school friends.
They are glued to each other, constantly playing games, and they're freaking hilarious, too. They're getting into this stage where the games that they have to play are hilarious. But anyways,
HWNI1 says, then why isn't she working with Desiraye? Good question.
Just saying, like, shared holiday type of situation. We want all of the children involved in that to be as happy and have that homey feeling. So why am I not going to make sure that I have the best demeanor towards everybody involved?
I don't know. Why aren't you? Because this is not your best demeanor. You haven't been on your best demeanor. I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here with like my mouth flabbergasted by what she's saying. This is the second time I'm hearing this, and it just baffles me. Why aren't you doing it then? It's just a lot of hot air. It's just a lot of talk to try to convince everyone that she's not a bad person, that she's doing everything she can. She's the victim. This is just manipulation. It's just more manipulation. Because if this was true, she would have already been fucking doing it.
You feel me? I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying.
Then why are you doing this live stream? Why have you been doing these live streams? Why are you constantly responding? Why are you constantly saying negative things about Desiraye? Why are you talking to DS about the situation with Desiraye and your feelings about it with a 9-year-old? If you want the best, prove it.
To do what's best for Deshawn. I am trying.
No, you're not. You're not.
I kind of sometimes hate having a fast metabolism because it's just like...
And then she switches the topic to constantly being hungry, which nobody cares about. The Pink Tea says in her chat, she wants to be friends now after she's been talking shit about her for months. That ship has sailed. Agreed. There was a point in the summer, back in May, June, where Desiraye invited the Jenkins over when she was supposed to have a visit with her son. She invited all the kids over to come swim in the pool because it was hot. I think it was like June or July. They declined. And then they declined, made an excuse for why DS couldn't go, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be misremembering. And then they took the kids to the splash pad instead. They are not working with Desiraye. Desiraye has extended a few olive branches. They've all been slapped away. Why would Desiraye keep doing that? And when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. And Stephanie has done that. Again, a month and a half ago. On live stream, she said that Desiraye was ugly and was talking shit about her appearance and how anyone could like her, etc., etc., etc. Plus everything she has said since.
I be stinking hungry almost all the time.
I don't care.
And that's with breastfeeding too.
No one cares. People being hungry is normal. What about your kids when they're hungry, huh?
Do people really not feel when their pants are that far down? Or do they just
Here she is judging someone who walked by with low pants.
not care? The amount of ass cracks I've seen this morning.
But she doesn't judge people. Mm-hmm.
Like, sorry. I just don't get that shit. It's cold. You're not even feeling
Myra says, why do you deserve custody of a child when you can't provide basic necessities? Good question.
that. Oh, this guy got a rack in the back of the car, too. What the hell? What you need that for?
Someone else says, not you judging employed people. Yep. Yeah. Only here says in response to Pink Tea, you know what? On second thought, Arlena and Des should invite her over. See what happens. I would pay per view for that, for sure. I would pay to see that. Sorry. Kiko says, went on a whole spiel about judging others. It's just to judge another. Yeah. Yeah. Hypocrisy. Raven's Revenge says, give them a real home. Agreed.
I wonder if Bubba's
Krista, not her watching people. Yep.
about to wake up. He doesn't.
Melly6000 says in Pink T's chat, she's trying to come up with a fairy tale plan because she has absolutely nothing to do with it. Shut the fuck up and neglect your own, ma'am. Oof. But also kind of fair, because this is just fantasy. This is her just talking for the sake of talking to manipulate people, to try to convince people that she's not the bad guy here, even though she's been doing bad guy stuff. In response to Only Here 101 saying that Des and Arlita should invite Stephanie over, Pink T says she's going to say something slick and get popped. Yeah, very likely. And you know what? She might deserve it. Maybe that's what it takes to knock some sense into her, is someone smacking her in the mouth.
He probably won't wake up till around 11. That's kind of normal for
Another person talks about people shouldn't judge, and then the next breath, there you go, judging someone. Yep.
him, especially when he goes to bed a little bit later. I definitely hear my baby stirring though.
Someone called her meh for me.
Oh, she's just chilling.
Drea says, you're the problem, girl. You can't see that. Agree. She's the problem. She's the author of her misery. She's her own jailer. Brenda Charles says, what's best for him is for the grown-ups to be grown and get along. Plan to share your holidays. Agreed. None of this would be as big of a problem that it is if Stephanie and Drew were doing what they were supposed to be. If they were cooperating. They are sitting here boo-hooing because of the consequences of their actions. As Only Here 101 says in Pink T's chat, typical narcissist thought, not a single bit of reality, just fantasy. Agreed. Also, it's everyone else's fault but theirs. Darvo, classic. Another classic narcissistic move.
This sweatshirt has gotten so beat up since...
Oh, is she crying again? Wait, let's go back. Sorry.
This sweatshirt has gotten so beat up since I first got it.
Who cares? It's an ugly sweater anyway.
Anyways, y'all, I'm sort of just running out of things to say.
No shit. We've noticed.
Honestly, like I said, I was just thrown off when I seen that Drew's live. This is hard for him, and that's what I know about.
Sorry, gotta go back.
This is hard.
Steffi says, maybe Amanda Hubbard will send you one, presumably a new sweater. That's funny. So Amanda Hubbard is a nut. She's one of Stephanie's diehard supporters who she recently sent the Jenkins baby clothes. Which, okay, whatever. That's nice, I guess. Like, the kids need clothes. It's not like they're really doing anything. But people have been kind of dragging her for it. Which, I mean, is going to happen because Stephanie has a massive hate following. So that's what that was a reference to, was maybe Amanda will buy her a new sweater. Probably she will. I Am Crazy Jester says, there used to be a time when people had shame and didn't air all their shit online. Yes, there was. The good old days where you had to wait for it to end up in a tabloid.
For him.
Or you had to go to some gossip sessions with the church ladies.
And that's what I know about.
Raven's Revenge. Boo-hoo! That baking mom running out of things to say when he didn't say anything worth hearing. Yep.
Being the person that I am for him. Is that speaking on any emotion is difficult.
Oh, wait, we're talking about Drew. Wait. We gotta go back.
Anyways, y'all, I'm sort of just running out of things to say. Honestly, like I said, I was just thrown off when I seen that Drew's live. This is hard for him, and that's what I know about being the person that I am for him. Is that speaking on any emotion is difficult, but it is easier for him to speak on emotion if it involves just his emotion.
Yeah, because he's self-centered, just like you. What a shocker. Drew can only talk about his feelings when it directly affects him. We know.
Has a very hard time connecting to other people's emotions.
We've noticed.
And I'll sit there and
the
look
lack of empathy amongst the two of you is nil.
Me like he's trying, but when I am emotional or when I am speaking my emotions, it just shuts him down. So it's like, what's the point? And I don't
Trouble in paradise again.
mean that to be.
I guess Stephanie's cellmate isn't so great after all.
You know. I don't mean like, what's the point? I just mean, why would I?
So it says, not you parenting Drew better than your kids. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? I told him yesterday, like, you tell me to talk to you about what I'm going through and what I feel, but like, it just feels like it sort of shuts you down emotionally, and that's the last thing I'm trying to do because I care about you. So why would I want to do that? You feel me?
That's not healthy at all. That Becky mom says you spilling your relationship issues. Yeah, she does that a lot too. For some reason, we're her therapist. We are not paid enough to be this woman's therapist, in my opinion.
Starting to get a little bit
Spooky SOS. You need help. Agreed.
warm in here.
Mandy, we are not your diary. Agreed.
So that's actually kind of surprising because it's cold out.
TikTok is Anon says, this time you spent on live, you could have filled in a job application or a housing application for that matter.
Outside.
Brownie Honey says, we are not your therapist. Agreed. Someone else says your kids need a mother.
Nobody asks you to be. If you feel like you are, get off.
Your kids want a real home. Shan says Drew is more honest than you. Yeah, he tends to be a little bit more honest. Mostly because he doesn't think to filter what he's saying. He just talks and gets himself into trouble, which I love. I love an honest narcissist. I love that he'll just say the quiet parts out loud without thinking. Keep doing it. Oof, Steffi says, you care about someone who doesn't care about you enough to work and get you out of a motel. Yeah. Although he claims he is. He said, he's in the last couple live streams, he has said he's working really hard. I think at one point he said that he's trying to get them out of the motel by Thanksgiving, which I think Thanksgiving is like next week or something. American Thanksgiving.
Like, social media wouldn't be a thing without these people who just make their literally useless comments. But
those useless comments are the reason you have a social media following to begin with, or engagement. Some gratitude wouldn't hurt.
At the same time, I just get baffled every time I see some of these comments because I'm like, what?
Angel Baby Honey says, you wouldn't have anything without social media. Agreed.
What? Say it to my face. You wouldn't.
Yeah, a lot of people would. We would. You would run away, though. Just like you did with Arlita when she confronted you back in September. You can't handle what people will say to you. And I promise you, a lot of people would say to your face exactly how they feel. There are a bunch of people who will start saying in the comments to open the boxes up. And she will have a bunch of people who have requested to join the live stream so that they can do that, so that they can tell her to her face what they think. She won't accept any of them. She'll play stupid. I'm like, what do you mean? What boxes? She likes saying from the comfort of, I want to say home, but it's not her home, from the comfort of her position behind her screen and say, you wouldn't say that to my face. She has said this a bunch. But the reality is people would. At this point, people would. And that's why she doesn't go out that much. That's why she's always paranoid and scurrying around and avoiding people. It's because she knows the people will tell her. It's why she was complaining about doctors and nurses when she was pregnant, telling her and criticizing about the choices she was making while pregnant. And then she did a whole tirade about that because she didn't like people telling her about herself. She can't handle it.
There's a study that actually shows that, like, if you were to be given the opportunity to say whatever you want behind someone's back through a screen, what would you say? Now read that comment out loud to their face, and people are like,
I would do it. I'm doing it right now. Just because you don't have the balls to do it, Stephanie, doesn't mean that we don't.
I can't do it. Exactly.
Someone just said, oh, we would. Yes, we would. Someone else says, Def would say it to your face. Nobody's scared of you, girl. Yep.
I'm trying to work myself up through this mental,
Someone brought up the park, how she's being tracked at the park.
like, get ready process because
A study shows you need help. Someone else says, oh, I happily would. And then in Pink Tea's chat, someone says, I am a crazy jester. I would gladly say anything to your face. I'm sure you would.
I gotta go back into that motel
More people saying, I would. I could.
room and make breakfast. And Drew likes the same breakfast.
Pink Tea says, they started telling her to open her boxes so they can say it to her face. Yeah.
All the time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, like, I like the routine because it doesn't make me have to, like, think through what to make him. Routine is, like, super comfortable for him. Having the same thing for breakfast, the same time he showers, like, these things are super.
Cashew says, mind you, it's almost 11 there. And I think earlier she said that Drew sleeps till like 11 in the morning. So lunch, it's lunchtime. Only Here 101 in Pink Tea's chat says, I say the same shit to people that I type. It does not bother me to tell people something clearly no one else has before. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of people like that.
Super relaxing to him. But to me, like, routine feels like stagnant. Like you're not going anywhere because you're not putting anything into that routine besides the same thing over and over.
Yeah, that's called ADHD. Do you know how I know that Stephanie Thompson doesn't understand her neurodiversity? It's when she says shit like this. Because if she understood how her brain works, she would understand her executive dysfunction and she would know how to work with it. And she wouldn't be mind blown that she struggles with routine. It's a really common problem for people with ADHD. I'm in a similar situation. Mr. Cursed Eye, a man of habit, a creature of habit. Really good with routines. Me, chaos. I have to adapt. If you can adapt to living in a motel room, you can adapt to routines. It's not easy, but you can do it. But yeah, definitely doesn't understand her neurology because this is not like a secret. This is like ADHD 101. This is basic entry level information.
I'm just saying. I know that could be like completely wrong thinking, but that's where I get sometimes is like if
again, this is not like new information. If you have ADHD, you struggle with routine. The end.
Doing the same thing every day, am I progressing? You know?
Oof. I am crazy Jester says, I hope she hates her life. She created it. Yeah.
I'll be losing a lot of hair. Probably that postpartum fallout.
Alessia Brock says, so she makes more money than all of us, but she still needs us to financially support her. Yep.
Hit the road, Jack.
Not postpartum again. Yeah, that's her go-to.
I can't even, like, read all these things so fast. Look, nothing against anyone who goes to therapy and me.
Oh, boy. I'm sure this is going to be interesting. Give me a second. We're going to sit up for this.
Maybe that is a process that I will choose for myself a little further down the road.
Maybe you should choose it now. Maybe you should have already chosen it.
But it's not what I want to do with myself right now, okay?
You don't want to get mental health support after multiple videos over at least the 6 months complaining about how your mental health has been struggling and you haven't been in a good way and you need to get your mind right for your kids, etc., etc. I'm pretty sure I just did a video on this. I could have sworn I did a whole video about how she's not addressing her mental health and her mental health is actively worsening. And here she is saying, I don't need therapy. She also has said not that long ago that she doesn't want to take any sort of medication to help manage her mental health. But we're supposed to feel bad for her? Okay.
And I don't care if you don't see it. I've actually healed quite a bit since.
Where? Healed where? If this is the healed Stephanie Thompson, I am truly concerned about those children. If you think this is healed, I am worried. Nothing about this live stream is giving healed. If anything, you should seek out therapy and support, especially when you know you are struggling with your mental health. And we know she is. We know she is. We know that this whole situation of her going viral and getting bombarded with constant criticism and hate can't be good for her mental health, but she's not doing anything to manage it. We're just doubling down, being nastier and nastier, and then blaming everyone else. If you're that healed, Stephanie, why is everyone else why is it that you are blaming everyone else? Why aren't you actually taking accountability? Why aren't you actually trying to work with Desiraye and Drew on this parenting plan? If you are as healed as you say, why are you sitting on this live stream lying and manipulating? Because it's bullshit. This is just more performative bullshit.
Since I started trying to heal myself and actually work on the...
You can't heal yourself. You can't do it in a vacuum. It doesn't work like that. There are certain things that you can intellectualize, for example, but that's not necessarily healthy. And I'm sorry, but gardening and self-medicating is not healing yourself. It's not you healing yourself. That is you finding coping strategies that are unhealthy. And given the amount of issues you have in your relationship, given the way that you talk to your children, and given the way that you talk to your audience, the way you behave on the internet, nothing about that screams healed. It doesn't scream emotionally mature or rational or responsible.
Things I need to work on. Postpartum hit me way...
It's been 10 months since she had her daughter. I'm not saying that you can't have postpartum that lasts longer than a year. You can. But again, if you're dealing with postpartum, you need to talk to someone about it.
Rougher than I would like to admit. Like, yeah, postpartum was rough, but...
Kimmy says there's the delusion again. Yep.
Coming back out of it and
someone else is saying let the guests up. She's not gonna.
Like, I'm starting to get a little bit of my own brain chemicals back, and the hormones are starting to just...
Jonathan says, guys, they're rage baiting. First Drew crying on live, and now she's all sad girl. Bye. Shut SDFU. Shut DFU. I don't know what that is. It could be. But I think people tend to assume rage bait a lot more than it actually occurs. I'm not saying the Jenkins don't rage bait. They do. I don't believe that everything that they do, though, is rage bait. They're very impulsive. They're very emotional. They're very stunted. They tend to just fly off the handle and do things without thinking. There's no calculation or planning with these people at all. And when there is, it is low tier level craftiness.
Dwindle a little bit.
Coconut, let me in the box so I can say it to your face. Becca Boone, OTU. Therapy and honesty would be a start. Yep. Let the guests up. Girls seek help.
I don't
know. Snow says self-induced issues. Yep. I Love Cat says, of course it's rough. Also because you're living in a motel. I Am Crazy Jester in Pink Tea's chat says, I'm so sick of her, quote, healing bullshit. What is she healing from? I don't know. Pick a struggle. She'll probably claim it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about that, is that it's cool if that's what the path you want to go down, but you don't have to force your path on everybody else. It doesn't have...
Nobody's forcing their path on you. People are suggesting that you take care of your mental health. If people suggesting that you improve the lives of your children and the lives of yourself and Drew and your mental health and all of that, if that is us pushing our path on you, you are gone. You are not redeemable. You are too far gone to be saved.
To be my decision. If I choose to speak with a preacher about what I feel, and that's as far as I want to go, that's my option.
People saying, let us up, let the guests up, let us up. I don't care who you talk to. People just want you to do something and stop making excuses. Our path being proper care for children, LMFAO. Yeah, exactly.
Those rugs outside
Never takes accountability. Now she's judging someone again.
do absolutely nothing, sir. They're so dirty, they ain't wiping nothing off your feet.
Chronicles of OWIP says, once again, no accountability, just excuses. I Am Crazy Jester says, at Bell Bell, I hope her kids are in mandatory counseling. I hope so too. I don't know if they are though.
Baby, what you wishing for? Baby, you should wish it more. Don't know how to wish anymore. So, music always be in my head, sorry.
I thought we shouldn't judge. Yeah.
I had to get that out.
Alexa says, if you can get a new kitchen appliance, why can't you take the kids to Urban Air? Good question. It's mostly because I can't fit in the car though, I think.
What boxes are you talking about?
See, this is where she plays dumb. She knows what they're talking about.
Open the boxes.
Amy Larson says, the children that you chose to bring into this world need you to be healthy, even if that means you, I'm assuming, go to therapy. And I agree. People wanting you to be healthy and happy and work through your problems, etc., 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 is not people attacking you. That is people expressing concern for you, which at this point I don't even know if it's deserved. Like it's just, we're getting slapped in the face every time we try to express concern. So it's probably a waste of time, but you know, people are still going to encourage it because most people aren't monsters. And because we know that the kids benefit from having healthier parents.
Don't know how to wish anymore.
The 5 waiting down below. Yep. Someone said,
Or do I?
you have to get off your tail, not wait on wishes. Agreed. She is waiting for someone to save them. She's waiting for a big handout. She is convinced that social media is going to give her everything she wants on a silver platter, and she's bitter because it hasn't happened the way she thinks it should. You need to wish for a home.
I'm
Yeah.
really just enjoying the quiet
I feel so sad that the kids have no personal space.
at this point. I
And
never
then
thought
Troy
that
shows up and says, block the haters. And what I said last night when I first recorded this was, oh, Drew must be awake.
would be something I said I enjoy because
Because then she gets off this live real quick. The baby will wake up, but it seems like Drew's awake.
quiet used to make me a little bit anxious when I was like in my teen years. But now, especially in this motel situation, any bit of moment that I can get where it's like,
Hiding in the car to get peace and quiet is wild. I agree. There's the baby.
not screaming. Bubby, you ready? You ready to go inside, bubbies? All right, y'all. Thanks for chatting. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye now.
Ugh. Okay, so that was that live stream. I took a small break just to go make something to eat and go to the washroom. And when I came back, I opened Reddit so that I could go pull up the clip of Drew from his live earlier this week. And I came across this post, which is currently open on my screen, which is that Stephanie has replied to someone under her original Threads post where she brought race into this about Desiraye. And it's a doozy, so we're going to read it. Someone says, but she belittles you? You're here claiming she drank when she was pregnant with her son, insinuating he has fetal alcohol syndrome, claimed he has reactive attachment disorder, yet you admit to microdosing, I'm going to assume shrooms, when pregnant. Show us her lies about you because I easily found 2 you dropped of her. And Stephanie says, aren't you some kind of hero? I still stand on that, and I'm not ashamed to. There is more than enough evidence to support what I said. She can deny it and continue to hide her faults. That only goes so far. Her denying the struggles it gave DS to deal with the rest of his life is honestly effed up. And mind you, Drew told me of her drinking while pregnant, so WTF. Okay, so here's the thing. What about all the struggles you're giving your own kids? When are we going to talk about that? This is called deflection, Anyways, I I opened Reddit and I saw this and just like, what? She's replied again? Top comment. She had nothing to say about that person calling her out for microdosing and smoking weed during pregnancy. And while breastfeeding, apparently, it's not apparently, she's admitted to it, her level of projection and cognitive dissonance is actually astounding. Agreed. Agreed. All right, let's find the live. I believe it's this one.
You know, by Deshaun. I've had him. I've had him since he was a baby. I worked 2 jobs when he was a baby, when he was cooking.
Also, I just want to reiterate this question. Is it a nervous tick when Drew sniffs all the time? Because he's going to sniff a whole hell of a lot in this.
I worked at QFC working nights. And I worked at Fujifilm. I worked 6 days. I worked 6 days a week. I slept for 2 hours a day to make sure he was good.
Yet Stephanie said in her live that when she came into the picture, DS was developmentally delayed. He had a limp, he walked funny, he couldn't use a fork, he had a speech impediment, he had all these struggles. Just saying. Supposedly that happened. I don't believe it, but if you were doing everything you could for this child that you claim you loved, how come he had so many problems? Also, Cookie, shut the fuck up.
And we got kicked out because of, I don't know what happened to the rent money. I was working. I just had her pay it. And then all I know is it's missing and we're short.
What are we talking about here? Are we talking about how they got evicted? Is that what he's saying? Because that is, oof, that's damning if true.
I don't have anything to freaking tell you.
You know what, I think he might be, because she said in her live, like, I could have made sure we didn't end up in this situation. Ooh. Tea. Stephanie's the reason they're homeless? Is that what he's saying? Everyone seems to be on the same page as me, saying Steph was smoking it, etc., etc. Oh wait, what? She was pocketing? Someone else says?
No, this is back when, way before I met Stephanie. Anyway,
Oh, he could be talking about Desiraye. I'm not sure though, but because they ended up homeless 1 or 2 times as well. Unclear.
Deshaun. Yes, I had my rehab slip up, but I never lost communication.
Slip up, sir. You got addicted to schmeth. Slip up. Don't downplay it.
Communication, and that was for less than a year. When another individual went MIA, it was for an extended period of time. And
okay, again. Arlita has shown proof that you've been MIA with your oldest for years. We also know Desiraye was involved. She said as much. And you admitted in court that you weren't answering the phone, you weren't answering the door, you didn't tell Desiraye that you changed your phone number, you made no effort to make it so that she could communicate with you, you weren't responding to Facebook messages, you weren't responding to anything. So this is bullshit. Also, the victimization here is just... bleh.
I didn't know nothing of it. I had to quit my Home Depot job.
Oh, baby.
And become homeless again because of the whole situation. Because I didn't know. I was trying to figure it out.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you quit your job when you're homeless? Wouldn't you want to keep working? Someone help me understand that.
By myself.
Sir, put yourself together. Agreed.
No, well, this is what the conversation is about because I don't even know why it's...
Someone asked the same question. Had to quit. Why? I also want to know.
It has become a thing. I haven't done anything wrong by Deshaun. Deshaun has voiced where he wants to be multiple times and...
Ugh. The woe is me is so irritating. I haven't done anything wrong. It's not about you. And you have done a bunch of stuff wrong. If you weren't doing anything wrong, you wouldn't be boo-hooing on live right now. You would be working with Desiraye and following the parenting plan and respecting the court order. You would have went to mediation. You would be trying to solve this problem. If you didn't do anything wrong, this wouldn't be happening. God. The victimization of these two is just, it's too much. Grow the fuck up. Drew Jenkins is 1 year younger than me. I'm 37. He's 36. He is rolling up onto his 40s. And this is the behavior. I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything I was supposed to do, and everyone's mean to me. Shut the fuck up. There are kids involved, sir. You are responsible for multiple small children. You're acting like you're being punished and targeted because the mother of one of your kids wants to have a relationship with the child and you've worked against it. And you keep insisting that he doesn't want to be there. He's made it clear where he wants to be. It doesn't matter. He's too young to have a voice in this. Your job is to help him facilitate a relationship with his mother until he's old enough to decide, until he's old enough to tell the judge what he wants. That doesn't mean you have to like it, but it does mean you have to work with it.
A whole bunch of other stuff that you guys will hear in the upcoming video.
I wonder if he's made this video yet.
But I don't know why there's this giant custody.
What do you mean you don't know why? You know why. You're the reason. You and Stephanie are the reason there's a giant custody thing. You admitted in court on the first court date in May. You were making no effort for Desiraye to make contact. You weren't answering the door. You weren't answering the phone. You didn't tell her if you changed your number. She didn't even know if you still lived there. And now you're just like stunned, like you're confused as to where this came from. You know where it came from. You understand why this is happening. You fully understand. Don't act brand new.
Battle going on.
36 years old.
And the fact that I have to now reply to a new email.
Oh no, you have to adult? You have to do adult things now, Drew? Oh, poor baby. Where's Stephanie? Where's mommy Stephanie when you need her so she can coddle you and do your emails for you? That's how you sound. Grown man. Boo-hooing because he has to respond to an email from a lawyer. Welcome to being a fucking adult. Sniffing the whole time. Incredible. The clownery.
And decline the fact that decline this whole thing and go to this trial court thing or whatever.
The whole thing, by the way, apparently was some sort of settlement. I'm not 100% sure how true that is. That's just what I saw on Reddit. I haven't caught any of the lives that Arlita, Monty's mama, and possibly Desiraye have been doing, including the live they did in response to Stephanie's live stream yesterday. I didn't see that, so I can't comment on it because I wasn't there. I was busy working. The downside of living on the East Coast.
In February. It shouldn't come to that.
I agree. It shouldn't have come to that. It shouldn't have come to this. It's almost like you should have cooperated. And the fact that he's sitting here crying about it and making himself the victim, and the fact that Stephanie will turn around and do the same thing a couple days later, it really suggests to me that they know they're cooked. The fact that Stephanie said, you know, like, if she gets custody, the kid's gone, we're never seeing him again. The fact that she's convinced that that's what's going to happen is telling. I'm not convinced that's what's going to happen, but who knows? But still, like, the fact that they're out here doing these live streams, playing the victim, it really sounds like they do not stand a chance come February. I think their goose is cooked.
Yeah, I know this situation sucks. I hate this situation. I'm already been done with this situation.
Then why aren't you working to resolving it? Why didn't you do mediation? If you're over it, if this is stressing you out, why aren't you cooperating?
That's why I've been pushing so hard to make as much money to get out of here.
That has nothing to do with your situation with Desiraye, though. It doesn't matter if you're homeless or not.
But this is the last thing that I need is
This is the last thing I need. Well, toughen up. This is your life. Be an adult.
for him to be ripped out of my life. I haven't done anything wrong by him,
Debatable.
and for this to be even brought up is slowly actually tearing me apart, because I have done everything I can to make sure he's good,
Debatable.
and I've done right by him. Yeah,
Debatable. Especially if what Stephanie's saying is true.
we're in a crap situation with this homelessness situation. Yeah, I'm working on it to try to make it better.
Debatable.
But this is not. This is not something that I need, or I need, or even really, I need or deserve.
The self-centeredness is just so frustrating. I don't need this. I don't deserve this. Why are these mean women treating me this way? Shush. Shush. Be a grown-up and deal with it. Start cooperating with the court order and the parenting plan. That would be the first fucking step. How about that? How about you wipe away your fake tears and just knuckle under and get it done? Woe is me is not a good look, especially when there are children in the balance.
To be having, because I don't know what I will honestly do if this whole thing goes through.
Why would it go through? If you and Steph are doing everything right, like you claim, why would this go through? Whatever this is. Why are you guys so shaken? What has got you guys so shook? What has you so worried that you're gonna lose this child completely? What could Desiraye possibly have against you at this point? If everything you're saying, that it's all just lies and it's unfounded and it's a misunderstanding and we'll see the truth eventually, it's just manipulation, why are both of you so worried? It's suspicious. I also don't like this language. I don't know what I would do if I lost him. You'd step up. You would do what you need to do. What about your other kids? You have other kids that rely on you right now. They're both acting like if they lose DS, the whole world falls apart, which I suppose is kind of true. Because Stephanie has said DS is the only thing keeping her in a relationship with Drew. People have theorized the only reason they're fighting so hard to hold on to DS is because of all the benefits that they're probably getting by having him. I don't know how true that is, but it's possible. Their relationship really does seem to hinge on whether this child is around or not. It seems to me like Stephanie is using DS as a way to control Drew and keep her claws in him. We already know he has no problem abandoning kids. He's abandoned other children, so I think the community's right in assuming that if Desiraye does win parental rights, if she becomes the primary caregiver to DS, that Drew's gonna bounce. That's very possible. But yeah, it's just, these live streams are weird. There are weird reactions. Something is brewing behind the scenes for sure.
But yeah, I'm trying to be all right. But it's
Okay, well, there you have it. They're worried about something for sure. Whatever that is, I can't say, but it definitely seems like they're upset about something. Whatever that email was from Desiraye's lawyer, I think it really shook the ground they're standing on, and they're not sure about anything anymore. Now, supposedly in the same live stream, and I haven't seen the full live stream, I'm not sure all the details of it, But I know that someone, I think it was Affectionate Car, posted a summary. And she wrote in the comments, if it'll load, and she says that in this live stream, Drew talked about how he had talked to Desiraye about their parenting plan, and they've agreed to go from every 3rd week to every 2 week, that it was too long of a time between visits, so he's agreed to do every 2nd week. Which is interesting because he's making it sound like later in this live stream that Dee wants to be only with the Jenkins, and yet he's letting Desiraye see more of him. It's odd. It's conflicting, is more than anything. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's just very strange. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next. I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't want to linger on the Jenkins territory exclusively, just for my mental health, because this is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. They're a lot. They're so messy. They need to cool their jets a little bit. It's the holidays. Maybe we could get into some festive cheer a little bit and just be normal for like a month or so. It'd be really nice. But I don't know. Anyway, that's it for me. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing, with a big, big thank you to my mods and members as always. You guys are rad, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!